What up?
Hello.
So this one is going to be a marathon of questions. We're going for quantity, not quality.
Are you excited?
Oh man, these emotions. So, quickly, I will just say that I encourage everybody to listen to this in like ×2 speed. I don't know how long this shit's gonna be. And then the other thing is, maybe like make dinner or like a meal prep or like do some dishes or some laundry. Like, don't sit down and think you're gonna man through this thing. Like, this is gonna be fucking... I'm answering every goddamn question. Quantity, guys, not quality. So, like, keep your hands busy.
Okay, are you ready for the first question?
Okay, do it.
Sophie Huber asks...
You don't have to say their name, unless you want to.
Okay.
You can do it.
How long have you been vegan?
Keep going, just...
I really enjoy watching your vegan videos. Are these recipes from yourself?
First question?
How long have you been vegan?
I'm not vegan. Next question?
Are these recipes from yourself?
Okay, yes and no. I always look shit up for inspiration, like from Pinterest, pretty much. But I cannot follow a recipe. I seriously have some fucking learning disabilities. Alert, not new information. So I find a recipe, I cannot follow it. I have some sort of weird instinctual, like, oh, I'll just do this, this, and this. It's like some sort of idiot savant shit going on.
Next question. Love you so much.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Tway vegan for a while, having a bit of trouble finding vegan clothing and vegan shoes, or already clothes and shoes on the more affordable side. In college, so can't always afford to buy ethical clothing, so I'll stop babbling. Okay.
So the question is where to find
I
vegan
guess it
clothes
wasn't
and
really
shoes?
a question, but I guess that's the question.
No, it's a fair fucking question. So first off, anything that's just synthetic or cotton, or like, you know, plant fiber, that's instantly vegan. So if you bought, I assume, like, you know, like cotton, what is that one called, made out of flax fiber? What is that? It starts with an L. I can't think of the fucking name.
I don't remember.
Anyway, so there's an endless amount of vegan clothes and shoes, and they're not necessarily vegan companies. However, if you are, if you really have your heart set on buying stuff from vegan companies, even if you can't afford it, I would highly recommend going on eBay and just buying used, and that'll just kind of train your brain into the habit of buying, you know, purchasing stuff from this brand. Even though you're not supporting the brand because you're buying it secondhand, you're just essentially putting it in your subconscious that this is who you're loyal to. And then when you start making money, like you get out of college or you fucking break your hip and you fucking get some sort of amazing settlement for millions of dollars, your subconscious is like, oh yeah, that brand, and you just like go there or whatever, you know. Does that answer the question? So essentially, buy used shit, and if you don't have a complex about buying shit from vegan companies, just buy fucking used shit. Just get on eBay, look for cotton shirt, you know what I mean? There's like even a button, I think, where you can pick the material. Thousands of things to choose from.
Next question. I'm from Arkansas and want to know your thoughts on the state. Did you like living there? What were the best and worst parts?
Dude, the first time I went to Arkansas, this is like probably 15 years or 10 years or something before I moved there. We lived there for a year. I went there for the first time and I was like, holy fuck. This is the most beautiful state. Like, all those jokes that I heard in the 90s about, like, you know, like, redneck bullshit from Arkansas, I was like, dude, it's fucked up, because the second we drove, when I was, you know, like, 18 or something, we drove into Arkansas, I was like, dude, such a beautiful... Like, these jokes are just doing a disservice to the state. We lived in a small town that was what was it? It was like a tourist town.
Mm-hmm.
So it had like all the cute quirkiness of like a small town, but it had like all the amenities of a city, even though it was tiny. such a beautiful spot, man. There's a lot of good things about Arkansas. I would say the bad things would be the weather was awful. Like, we lived there in a year that it was hotter in Arkansas than it was in Texas. And Texas is fucking awful. So the summer we were there was just fucking tragic. And then the humidity's awful. The
allergies can be bad.
Oh my god, you were like, oh my god, you're having a rough fucking time. Ticks, all the bugs, dude. Oh my god. Like, everybody I knew in Arkansas had a tick story, had a brown recluse, like, getting bit by fucking gnarly ass spiders. Everybody had, like, multiple types of different kind of Lyme disease, and oh my god, dude. Next question.
Hello, I have some questions for your Q&A. What oils do you use when cooking? Do you like grapeseed oil? What active activities do you like to do?
That is what that says, active activities. I like it.
How did you and your husband meet, and why are you vegan?
First question?
What oils do you use in cooking?
I use anything. Especially for the videos, because that shit is not cheap.
Do you like grapeseed oil?
Dude, I love grapeseed oil. I've not indulged in a while, but I fucking love it. Dip some bread, throw some salt, bam.
Active activities? Cycling?
So, yes.
Hitting the gym?
Yes. Next question.
How did you and me meet?
We have a video.
Yeah, that's kind of a long story.
Yeah, if you go on the homepage of our YouTube channel, there's a video. Like, scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the video. It's called We Got Married at Whole Foods. Like, Whole Foods, the fucking grocery store.
And you're not vegan, so that answers the last question.
Wait, what was the last question?
Why are you vegan?
Well, I was
about why
vegan.
were you vegan?
No, how about, wait, that was the question? Why are you vegan?
Yeah.
I went vegan when I was vegan because I read Diet for a New America. So I read the book, I went vegan like overnight. I was overnight vegan. Fucking passionate, dude. I was fucking, oh my god.
Next question. Love your videos, and my husband and I have been obsessed with your recipes.
Dude, that shit is so flattering. I love it. It's so kind.
Why did you start the channel, and how did you get so crafty with the George Foreman grill?
Oh my god, this person! It's like I feel like they get me on a deep fucking level. What was the first question? Why did we start the channel?
Yes.
Because so, oh my god. All these things have long fucking answers, but I gotta keep it short. Because there's over 100 questions. Okay.
Truncate.
What does that mean?
Shorten.
So the short story is we were living literally, not literally out of the trash can. We were, our life was dependent off of literally taking stuff out of the trash can. We, 1 year, our tax return for the entire household was $10,000. We were fucking, dude, so fucking poor, and that was with no government assistance or whatever. So we were like totally living on bottom dollar. So being self-employed and having to fucking like feed ourselves and pay our fucking rent, like essentially wipe our own asses. It's like, okay, we need to fucking get clever. So adding to our self-employment was let's fuck around on YouTube and see if we can fucking feed our family, clothe our children.
How'd you get the grill skills?
Oh my god. Okay. God, I want to answer like 20-minute answers on all of these. Okay. So I got really pumped about, I had like this life change a couple of years ago, and one of the things I discovered is that I have a huge entrepreneurial spirit, and so I was listening to all these podcasts about, like starting businesses and stuff, like people telling the story of how they started their business, and I learned that in order to bring a product to market, you have to do a lot of fucking work. Like, you can't just like slap some shit together and be like, peace, right? So because I realized this, I started reading every owner's manual for any product we ever bought. I was like, there's probably some life or death shit in here. So I bought the George Foreman grill at the thrift store, so I looked up an internet version of the, what do you call it, like the owner's manual, and I read every single thing in it, like this shit could be the difference between drowning and fucking swimming. So the George Foreman grill was like, you can cook fucking everything from frozen. But they were naming all this meat, and I was like, okay, that's cool. What about this 1 pound bag of frozen broccoli? And I seriously never bought frozen veggies before that, and it was like a total game changer. George Foreman for life. And watch my fucking video. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I made a video called 10 veggie hacks or something like that, and I fucking show you how to make vegetables on a George Foreman grill, and there's thousands of reasons. And I even do an Oprah impression in that video. That's what you should really watch.
Next question. Would you ever make some gluten-free recipes? I just saw your vegan lo mein video and wish there was a gluten-free version. Love ya.
Dude, thanks for the love. I'm gonna... Yeah. Because you said that and you put it in my mind, I'm definitely gonna make more gluten-free videos. I've got a long fucking list of shit I want to make, so who knows when and where. But essentially, all my videos, they really can be made gluten-free if you were clever. But I'm gonna make some videos. I promise.
Any meal ideas for a student with just a rice cooker? And I don't have a refrigerator, so most of the things or veg have to be kept at room temperature. Much appreciated.
Dude, I'm taking that challenge. I was writing them back and forth like, wait a minute, what about a microwave? Is there a microwave part of this challenge? And they were like, no bitch, just a rice cooker. Dude, I'm pumped. I'm fucking pumped.
Is this going to be the next George Foreman grill?
Dude, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
Okay, next question. Where did you get the Accutech thing from?
That is the, what do you call that? The food scale? The scale that I use in all the videos to weigh out what I'm making. That I got on eBay. It was like $20 free shipping or some shit. And that's, you know, it's just a scale with endless use. You can do drugs, you can ship some fucking shit to the US post office, or you can make fucking hippie videos. $20. Free shipping.
Next question. I was wondering, do you guys grow any fruit or veggies?
Do we?
No.
Okay.
We tried once and failed miserably.
What, those,
some tomatoes
That was not a fail, dude. Every raccoon
we didn't get
loved
one.
them.
No.
Every raccoon loved them.
Next question. Anytime I click on a new video of yours, I say, what up?
Oh, yeah.
Like you usually do.
Fuck yeah.
Please never ever stop saying that and booze at
What?
the end. Or is it, do you mean peace?
No.
Peace?
That's, I guess, whatever. It's cool. Continue.
So I'm attached to your voiceover.
Yeah.
Q&A. Definitely we need to know, how did you guys handle moving to that small house in the forest? And it's really inspirational. And how did you turn vegan and why?
How did we handle the move to the tiny house?
Yeah.
So in case anyone is just here for the recipes, we have one of the first fucking videos I put on this channel, like 2000, who knows, 2013? Something like that? 2012? Years ago? A video of us showing off our tiny house that we lived in for 1 year. 150 square feet. No fucking plumbing. How did we handle it? Man, I was living the fucking dreams. I had these fucking high horse dreams that were some fucking... Oh, it was like the anarchist spirit like just moved through me and we fucking made it happen. But then by the end, I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack and I had to completely change my way of life because I was just so fucking having such an awful time. What was your... whatever? What's your answer? How did you feel about no plumbing?
One-way U-Haul truck.
What was the last question? There was a question about veganism.
Yeah. Why did you become vegan again?
Read it, because if it's slightly different, I'll answer it a slightly different way.
How did you turn vegan and why? Your story.
How did I turn vegan?
What's your story?
I had a very hippie experience when I was 17. I was making like a turkey sandwich, and I felt this. For real, I had this feeling that I can only describe as this voice in my head jumped out of nowhere and said, "Is this okay?" And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put the sandwich away and not eat it. Like, it was like that. So I instantly went vegetarian. And this was before anybody fucking knew about like veganism. And so So I was vegetarian for, I don't know, a couple months, and then I was at Whole Foods, and this lady who worked there, this is when Whole Foods had a book section, which probably don't have enough profit margin as a fucking organic fucking kale. Anyway, so I was in the book section, and this lady was like, oh my god, you gotta read this book, it changed my life, I read it, you know, whatever. So I bought Diet for a New America, and bam, vegan, like that, for 9 fucking years, motherfucker. God, that was dramatic, sorry. Let's mentally erase what I just said. Continue.
Next question. Can you turn on YouTube comments?
No. Keep going.
There have been so many times where I wish I could say something lovely to you.
Aww.
After seeing last video with the room redo,
yeah,
are y'all no longer in the tiny house? Just curious.
Dude, every time somebody mentions the no comment situation, I seriously think I really should be turning on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the shit people could fucking get on a soapbox about, it's like, I don't give a fuck. But the comment thing, every time somebody says it, I'm just like, this is coming up a lot. I am not sure about the... right now, the answer is no about the comment section. I don't know, dude. I don't think so. It's probably not going to happen. I got way too much shit last time I had the comments on with the tiny house. I was fucking chatting it up, telling everybody how we saved a bunch of money for the tiny house, and everybody was like, oh, you're such a man, you're so ugly, your tattoos suck, you're probably unemployable, your parents probably are, what is the word they use? Ashamed. Your parents are probably ashamed of you. You and your dollar store glasses. I was like, oh my god, you people just need to fucking...
First of all, she's wearing some Prada.
Okay, those are my glasses. And what was the tiny house? Oh, so, what was the specific tiny house question?
If we're still there.
Okay, so we lived there for 1 year, and then at the end of the year, we never talked about leaving or anything crazy. And then one day, I just felt like my whole chest, like that anxious feeling in your chest, I felt like I was just way too fucking close to the edge. Like, I was gonna have a fucking breakdown. I just turned to Mark and I said, do you want to sell the land? And you said, yes. I was like, say what? Like, we didn't even have this conversation earlier. And then we put it on the market and it sold a couple months later.
Alright, next question. How do you have so many friends, and what's a way to make them?
Do we have a lot of friends?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have a lot of friends, but no, we have a lot of friends. We don't necessarily socialize a lot.
Yes.
Okay, how did I make my friends? Well, most of my friends were made when I was younger, like in my 20s. And I used to hold, vegan potlucks once a month at my apartment. And that became so we'd watch a documentary, some progressive bullshit, and we'd eat all this hippie food. And that became a huge social thing, and we did that every month. And I say we, I don't mean me and you weren't there, but we did this for years. I did this for, I think, like 2 years, and then there was a break, and then we kept doing other stuff. It was just like this huge social thing. So, how do you make friends? Oh, and the internet was around, but I wasn't really on the internet back then. It's hard to say how shit changes when the internet. Get online, and then force the people online to, like, physically hang out. And then every time you hang out with them, be like, hey, you should invite somebody. And then eventually all your friends meet each other, and now you are fucking popular.
Movie night.
Yeah. Have a movie night. Have a potluck.
Yeah. Next question. I'd love to hear a story about one of your tattoos, or a bunch of them. You decide.
I'm gonna do a video on this. It's gonna be fucking badass, the video. And I've thought it would be done like a month ago, and it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But I'm working on it.
Okay. On your YouTube description, it says you aren't actually vegan. Is that the case? Also, why not?
So I was militant vegan for 9 years. I turned vegan when I was 17, and then, dude, listen to this, check this out. Okay, so I was vegan at 17, and then when I was 21, I had my 21st birthday at a vegan restaurant. Okay, I had my 21st birthday working a 10-hour shift at a vegan cafe in Philadelphia, and then when I was 25, I started a raw food restaurant. I was really, like, the last couple years of me being vegan, I was a hardcore raw foodist, like 100%. And we started like a raw cafe with this fucking psychopath who could give a fuck less about fucking vegan food or raw vegan or health or community or hippies. Oh, and then what was the question? Why am I not vegan anymore?
Yes.
That is so complicated. I guess there's like so many answers to that. That could be a huge conversation. The short answer, which is probably only like 1% of the reasons, is I essentially felt like I was going out of my mind, which didn't resolve itself when I quit veganism. It's fair to say that. It took a while to kind of put things in perspective. But I would say being so militant created like this awful vegan police in my head, and I still deal with the vegan police in my head. It's pretty fucking ridiculous, and that was a big part of that, even though I didn't know it at the time.
Okay. Next
Getting
question.
deep, get no problem.
Yep.
The look on your face like, do I interrupt? Can we move on? Do you need a tissue? It's so traumatic.
Okay. Do you have any regrets about leaving the tiny house?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what are yours? You shook your head, yes. What are your regrets?
Yeah, because it could have been a moneymaker.
Yeah, we could have, there's a million reasons. We should have kept it, and kind of reassessed what we wanted to do, but I was just so fucking emotionally and psychologically frazzled. We just didn't have perspective, like, long term. It was just so immediate. We're kind of impulsive. I wish we would have kept it.
Okay. Can you make comfort food for someone sick with minimal ingredients? Or something without onion and garlic for a Hare Krishna?
Dude, right the fuck on. We are friends of the Hare Krishna, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Think
like,
so.
You paused, you were like, no bitch, just you. No dude, we got homies that are Hare Krishna. So I would say you can take onion and garlic out of all the recipes, and if you want to be fancy, just go to the Indian store, buy some hing, and then use hing instead, or just leave it out. I think all our recipes would be fine without. Can you make comfort food for someone sick with minimal ingredients? I don't know. If you're sick, drink some fucking water and take a nap. I don't know.
Kids? Question mark.
I don't think we can have kids, but it doesn't really matter because we have a weekend kid. Well, I don't want to say it doesn't matter. It's all fucking relative. But, blessing in disguise. We have a weekend kid. Isn't that plenty?
It is. It's more than enough for me.
Maybe more than enough.
Yeah.
Next question.
What made you start making the best food vlogs? Your videos are hella dope.
Dude, these, like, any compliment, I cannot explain. When people say they like our shit, dude, I can't explain how
Good job.
fucking nice that feels.
Doing good.
It feels like I'm doing a thankless job, and I don't think people even, not that it even matters really, but for 2 years we made videos and no one gave a fuck. Nobody watched them. If you go back, you'll see that they don't have a lot of views, but you'll be like, well, that had some views. It's like, no, dude, all the views they have now are from just the last few months. Like, for 2 years we made videos, no one gave a fuck, and I didn't care, actually. I was like, fucking food, delicious. So I appreciate all the compliments. What made you start making the best food vlog? I mean, it's like, one way you could say it is that we were just like so poor. I was the happiest I've ever been during that time. So don't even mistake, you know what I mean? Like, we were so poor. I felt the fucking best I hadn't felt in, probably my entire life. So there was like a financial motivation, but I started making just like regular videos. Like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make like budget videos because I got really interested in like Mr. Money Mustache and like financial independence, because what else would a poor person think about other than fucking financial independence? So I started to make, I remember making a video with like chicken drumsticks. Dude, I wanted my eyes, it made my eyes bleed. I was like, this is the worst video. Like, this is so uninspiring. Like, I cannot handle, like, I was like, I hate this. I hate just thinking back at all the emotions of like disgust. Not about the meat, just, I don't know how to explain it. It was so uninspiring. It didn't bring any inspiration or creativity or joy. And then we started making the vegan videos, and it was like this pent up, like, creative spot and interest and all these things that I love just had an outlet for like the first time in a long time. So even though it was like financially, like, that was the original incentive, the only thing that keeps it going is like how much I fucking enjoy doing it. Like, you're giving me this look like, bitch, come on. Wrap it up, Oprah. All right, I'm gonna quit talking about how awesome I just love doing it.
There you go.
Dude, we get to eat delicious. Dude, if we never made recipe videos, we would seriously live off like, I would live off like smoothies and fucking pasta. Exactly. Yeah. We make recipe videos and we eat like fucking kings as the result.
Okay. What were you like as a kid, as a teenager? What were your parents like? Let's do one at a time. There's a few.
What were you like as a kid? I was really sarcastic as a little kid. I think I've lacked self-awareness for a very long time. I think I'm starting to fucking connect the dots. Like, you know, it's hard to explain. That's complicated. As a teenager, most of my life I had been super depressed. Like, major depression was like a term I saw in like schoolwork, like, or not schoolwork, like somebody diagnosed me major depression, and I had like major suicidal tendencies for the longest fucking time. I was really fucking a wreck forever, but even though I was a wreck on the inside, I don't think that always showed through on the outside, because the way a lot of adults talked to me when I was younger was just like, this is gonna sound so fucking stupid, but I don't know another way to explain it. I felt like adults, like teachers and shit, I felt like they were always leveling with me, like talking to me like, I don't know how to describe it, like
patronizing you?
No, the opposite. Like, I felt like they were being so fucking real. Like, I felt like I would have these conversations with adults that felt so in depth and meaningful. And I can think of a lot of stories of like certain adults just like really keeping it real with me, and I really needed that. Like, that really alleviated, I don't know, but I had a lot of fun too. I did do a lot of fucking around, a lot of fucking acting crazy and doing all sorts of shit. So even though I was a fucking emotional wreck, I was very adventurous, you know, and definitely a free spirit. Definitely fucking, what do you call that? Like beating to the whatever, your own drum.
You do your own thing.
Yeah.
What were your parents like? What are your parents like?
Will you grab my water? What are my parents like? My parents are older. So my mom had me in her late 30s, and then she had my little sister in her early 40s. I was planned, but my little sister wasn't. My parents are total polar opposites. They're both Jewish, but my mom's like super duper emotional. Like, that's just how she's wired. And my dad is super not emotional, and that's how he's wired.
He's devoid of emotion.
He is, but he's got a really great sense of humor when he's like, when he gets going, it's fucking...
He could have been a George Carlin-esque comedian.
Okay, so my dad has like a master's degree in engineering, was an engineer for like a million years. And my mom, she graduated college, but she never worked like a fancy job. When I was in high school, she worked at fucking Burger King, which would embarrass me to some degree, but at another degree, it's like, bitch, we're poor, you better sweep some fucking floors. So it's hard to hate. My mom is deeply emotional, even though she's not, like, she's emotional, but she's not an emotional wreck. She's very sweet and very reserved, and she doesn't, like, give her opinion. Like, she waits to be asked, you know? Like, she's just very, like, both my parents, they never fucking gave me, like, their 2 cents. Like, sometimes I'd be like, Dad, seriously, like, I can tell you're a smart man. Like, why are you holding back some fucking wisdom? Like, you don't give a fuck. He's, like, doing my thing. Anyway, my mom told me once, and I didn't even know this about her, that, like, I didn't realize how emotional she was, because I'm not as emotional, so I kind of mistakenly tuned that out. She told me, like, if she sees somebody out on the streets and they look sad, it makes her so sad. Like, she's empathetic. So empathetic. I wish I would have realized that sooner. I probably caused her a lot of stress.
Oh.
I know, she's so sweet.
Okay, I'm gonna rephrase this question. Since you're not vegan, what's the reason for all of the vegan recipe videos?
Oh, okay. Well, you can read the questions as is.
Are you vegan? Why or why not? If not, what's the reason for the vegan recipe videos?
The vegan recipe videos, it's like I learned to cook while I was vegan. Like, I was 17 and I was like, okay, I'm cooking. So I essentially developed that part of the brain that it's hard to describe. It's like I developed cooking skills while vegan, and my brain is completely wired to veganize things. Even if I'm not in a vegan mindset at all, like the brain, it's like I said, like some sort of weird idiot savant thing where it's just like doing the math on like you change this around, you change that around, then we got a vegan dish. And so that's why I make vegan recipes. My brain is fucking wired to do so.
What's the ballsiest thing you've ever done?
Oh, God. I'm not... Should I answer? Oh, because it's fucking illegal, dude. Doing some illegal ass shit is fucking ballsy.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't know, dude.
I don't think you'll be convicted at this point.
It's not convicted. No, I mean, I got caught.
You talking about, Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just saying that makes my heart sink. This is so embarrassing. Dude, we're not even halfway through the questions and we're 30 minutes in.
Yep.
I have a lot of fucking gangster ass friends, or, you know, had when I was younger. I just really attract, some crazy motherfuckers. I guess I still do. So some friends and I, well, her mom was the kind of the brains behind it. They had a, I don't even like, just talking about this makes me nervous. Her mom would, what is the word?
Trafficking illegal immigrants.
Across the border. And so I went one time with them and we got caught. So what happened essentially, so that's definitely the ballsy, like that's a felony. Like when the Border Patrol, oh my God, dude, this is a great fucking story and I can't tell the whole thing because we're already, you know, way too much time. Border Patrol, like as we were driving across, they were like, the lady was like, you look familiar. And dude, Carol was like, R.I.P. Carol. Carol has since passed. So Carol was like doing her like smiley eyed, like the way she would talk to people when she was fucking them, like the way she would talk to people when she'd be like stealing, like when we would be at the stores and she'd steal shit. And me and her daughter would just be like, oh my God, this lady's crazy. And then the managers would walk up and she would just start chatting them up in this. She had like this look in her face that's like, dude, this is her bullshitting face. We would just be like, oh my God. So rest in peace, Heather, who is her daughter, who also fucking died. So we got caught. Fucking the Border Patrol was like, you look familiar, and she's just chatting her up, giving her those eyes, and I'm like, oh my God. You know, I wasn't nervous. I was like, let's just see how this goes. And there was this movement in the back seat. This was late at night, under the blankets. There was a movement, and the Border Patrol was like, I'm gonna have to ask you to pull over. And at that moment, it's like, oh, shit's going down. And dude, the first thing she said, let me take a sip of water, pardon me. She said something like, you have all just committed 4 felonies. She straight up said that shit with the calmest ass voice, told us all to get out of the vehicle, and the 4 Mexicans that we had were, you know, brought back there, but, you know, were sent back, and we were sent to this like room. Dude, that shit was pure fucking balls. And by the way, now that I'm a fucking adult, like smuggling illegal immigrants is such a big deal. Had no fucking clue back then. I mean, I knew it was bad, like I knew it was fucking risky, but this was fucking, I'm an adult now. I am not saying I do that shit anymore.
What's the stupidest thing you've ever done?
Probably.
Or is that it?
No, there's... Yeah, well, okay. Yes, we'll just go with that. Yes.
What's something you still want to do in life?
There's a lot. I mean, essentially be more successful. I feel like for so much of my life, I've really been functioning at essentially like a low level. And I would just love to experience life from a whole different perspective with less, financial limitations. I guess essentially that's kind of like the main thing. There's not anything in particular I want to do. Like, I'm not materialistic. There's not like things I want to buy or whatever. I just want okay, I guess I don't really know. That's the short answer. Is there still shit I want to do? Yes, but I'm not. That's still unfolding. As long as I'm doing it with you, Mark.
Okay.
Okay.
What do you regret the most?
Honestly, the biggest regret is just thinking about it makes me nervous. Is how arrogant I was when I was like I was into health. So I was vegan for 9 years. I was really into health for probably 15 years, right? So at least a little bit before I got into veganism, the 9 years of veganism, and then I was really fucking pumped about another type of eating for 4 years after I was vegan. And that was the end. That was when I was having my breakdown at the tiny house, and I was like, I have to change my whole life. Like, I'm gonna fucking have a heart explosion. Anyway, so all that time that I was really fucking pumped about diet and health, or, anything related to food, I feel like I was extremely arrogant, especially at the end, and not necessarily on purpose. Sometimes on purpose. Sometimes I was being a dick, but for the most part, I don't think it was on purpose. Just the lack of self-awareness and just knowing that is just extremely embarrassing. I really regret a lot of those, Okay, I see your Oprah eyes like, next, bitch.
What aspect of yourself or life are you most proud of?
I don't know. What do you think? Is there anything that comes to mind?
I can't answer for you.
Well,
what have you done that you're proud of?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, changing, okay, that's the one thing. Like, I've had a lot of the same friends ever since I was vegan. The majority of the people that I know knew me as a vegan for a long fucking time. And a lot of those people were vegan and vegetarian along with me. A huge portion of those have surprisingly changed. And then there's a chunk of people who knew me as vegan or whatever, and they've watched me change and they were never vegan. They kind of felt put off by it. And no matter what, like, side of the camp, multiple people have said that they just think it's amazing how much, like, how versatile I've been. Like, I don't know how to explain it, just how flexible, like, that makes people proud, and it just blows me away that
dynamic.
Yeah, like people see that as like a strength, and I'm like, when they say it, I'm like, damn, that's something to be proud of. But I never
Life experience.
I just never think about it.
Okay. Why can't we comment on the YouTube vids? I always want to comment how fucking awesome you are.
The number one reason is because people just talk too much shit, and that it's easier to turn the comments off than to grow thicker skin. For me, it's just like...
I would try to moderate and weed through all that crap to delete, like, 12-year-old comments.
I mean, truly, it's like... It's not about showing them, because somebody was like, well, can't you just moderate them? And it's like, the point is that I don't want to read shitty comments. It's not that you guys can't say shitty things. Like, you guys can talk about how shitty I am. I just don't want to have to, like, sift through it in order to comment to people who are actually trying to have a discussion. So it's like,
You seem to have some many ingredients stored at your place to make your recipes. So how do you store/organize?
Dude, our pantry is a clusterfuck. But our spices
you do have nicely labeled spice bins.
I should show those off more.
Yeah. What does your kitchen look like now?
Trash. Our fucking apartment is like a total piece of shit. But I thank the gods, because if we didn't have a cheap ass apartment, we wouldn't be able to fucking be self-employed doing lame ass videos all the time. We'd be too busy trying to pay rent. We'd have to get real jobs.
Yep. Do you cook every day? What motivates you to cook?
Do I cook every day?
Almost every day.
I feel like I cook. Especially now. I mean, with or without the videos, but especially with the videos, like it takes multiple days to do one video a lot of the times. But even outside of the videos, it's like, dude, I'm such a cheap bastard. The idea of we rarely go out to eat. Like even fast fucking food. I'm telling you, like, you gotta fucking pry these dollars out of my fucking cold Jewish hands. Like, it's not happening. It's like, I'll fucking make it myself. Thank you.
Are you vegan? Loads of questions, lol.
I was for 9 years.
Okay. How about vids on your finger food to bring to work? And finger food for parties?
I know, dude. I've totally been thinking about making a finger food video. We'll get there.
Okay. Yo, where do you take your ideas from for the recipes? Have you ever worked in hospitality? Love your videos and the music is awesome. Dude,
thanks. Where did I get the recipe ideas? Pretty much from Pinterest, which is collection of everybody's fucking blogs ever. Have I ever worked in hospitality? Yeah, I worked in the food industry from the age... I got my first job at 14, and that was at a fried chicken fast food place. So from 14 till we became self-employed, 4 years ago? Mm-hmm. Or something like that. I think I was 31 or 30. So 16 years. I worked in the food industry for 16 fucking years, and now I have a food blog. So, yeah.
Good job. Was there a turning point in your life? Was there a turning points in your lives, or have you always known your groove?
No, dude. I have been... It's really funny because when I think about it, I think, no, dude, I've been really lost. But that's not really how shit works. Everything unfolds, for sure. There's no way I would be doing these videos if I wasn't vegan for so long. Even though I have a lot of mixed feelings about having been vegan, lots of good things and lots of fucking negative things. I have a lot of fucking thoughts. And while I do shit, I get so tunnel vision. Everything I do because I'm super passionate about. So I always feel like I'm in a groove, but then when I get out of the groove and I'm in my new groove, I look back at the old groove and I'm like, what was I thinking?
Plans for the future? Maybe opening up your own restaurant or food truck? Off topic, but could you do a video on some camping foods?
I had these ideas, dude. I totally do. I also have a homeless video idea for cooking vegan as a homeless person.
You're a boss, by the way.
Aw, dude.
I'm so happy I stumbled upon your videos. Please keep it up. Peace.
Dude, I love all these questions, but who's really going to be listening to every single one? People are going to hear the first question, and then they're going to move it along.
Okay, so the future.
The future, plans for the future, I don't know, become a rich bitch. Opening our own restaurant. I will tell you, when I was vegan, I obsessed about opening a vegan restaurant. So obsessed. And then, and then I got on this huge fucking no working kick and just got really lost into hippieism and anarchism. It just got really fucking complicated. And I didn't really think much about the restaurant, and then I kind of got refocused, and then I put it in my head that I wanted to start a raw cafe because I was really passionate about raw food. I swear to God, we could do whole videos on using the power of the mind. I wrote down in my journal this whole vision for this raw cafe. Swear to fucking food gods, YouTube gods, long answer gods. The very next day I got a phone call from a friend who said, I met this lady who's starting a rock cafe, and she needs a chef, and I recommended you, so you'll be getting a call. Swear to God, the very next day, that turned into a rock cafe that is no longer in existence, but that's a whole nother story in and of itself. But it was in existence. It did exist.
It did.
But it's no longer in existence.
And you're not thinking about doing another one?
It's hard to turn that thought off, but it's hard. I can't answer that right now.
Okay. How do you earn money?
The majority of the money we make is on eBay. That's how we became self-employed. We started dumpster diving shit and selling it, and we did that for literally 18 months. We pulled stuff out of the trash, paid our bills, lived life. That's why I felt like $1 million, even though we were living on like literally $800 a month. Well, that was $800 gross. That was before taxes, before fees. We lived on fucking nothing. And I was so happy. We'd go to bed at like any fucking time, wake up at any time. We had like the dumpster diving community, found all these treasures. I learned all about fucking consumerism and materialism in a different light than the way I'd kind of always approached it, as like instantly bad, whereas here it was like, holy shit, this is like what feeds us, this is what pays our bills, and these are brands that I feel like everybody knows about, I've never heard of. And so we pay our bills through eBay.
But we don't dumpster dive anymore.
We don't dumpster dive, yeah. We buy shit at like thrift stores and garage sales, and that's how we make money.
Where do you get your quirky sense of humor from?
I don't know. Dude,
Born this way?
The big ass smile you gave me when I said I don't know, like to you that was a joke. You were like, exactly, and I was like, that was not a joke. But,
will you ever return to tiny house living?
Yeah, but not like I wouldn't do 150 square feet. Like, there's so many reasons why that does not work for a lot of people. It was Globe and Mail did an interview with me. It's like a huge fucking magazine. It's like the New York Times of fucking Canada. And so they had a agenda in the article. The agenda was essentially showing how tiny houses are bullshit. So when she was interviewing me, she was essentially like feeding me what the agenda was. But honestly, while she was saying all this shit, I was like, dude, like, I can't argue with all the shit you're saying. Like, she was just saying all this shit, like, 90% of the people who have a tiny house, like, and they make kind of like a blog or a lifestyle. They're known as the tiny house people. They eventually fall off, like, or they don't do it full time. And all the people who sell tiny houses, they don't fucking live in a tiny house. Like, it's just how unrealistic it is. So I love small houses. I love, not owning a bunch of bullshit. So I would do it, but it would have to be like not that tiny, and it would have to have plumbing, according to Mark.
Do you still have the cabin, and who's your cooking influence?
I don't have the cabin. I wish we did. There's still time in the future. We can do more random ass shit. Who's my cooking influence? I don't have a major influence because my brain doesn't fucking work that way. I wish it would, dude. If I could influence, like, if I could do that, I would have gone to college and like became a real fucking person. But I will say this. I like Feasting on Fruit. I don't know if you've ever heard of that blogger, but hers are so fucking, like, I don't give a fuck about fruit, and all of her shit's low fat, and I don't care about that either, but I love her blog. Like, I'm obsessed with, like, taking a handful of ingredients, throwing them together, and it's just so easy. I love easy, which means lazy.
When is your birthday? Do you have favorite beauty products?
My birthday, it's October 12th, which is Columbus Day. That bastard. Thank you for bringing me to this beautiful country.
Bitch.
Favorite beauty product? Floss. I love dental floss. I love flossing.
That's a hygiene product.
Okay, beauty product. Let's try this again. Shea Moisture, the product for, if you look on their social media, it's all fucking black chicks. Dude, one time when I was trying to figure out if I was going to use them, I got on CVS's website and I was looking at all the reviews, and it was like all the fucking black chicks being like, this shit is awesome, this shit is awesome. It was like endless, and then they would have like thumbs up, thumbs down under each comment, and this one girl jumped in, she's like, I'm Caucasian and I love this product too. This shit had so many thumbs down, like people are like, nobody cares, and I was like,
this is for black people.
I was like, dude, this is hilarious. I love black people. So I love that, and I only discovered it a couple years ago, and apparently my Jufro has...
Is that for your hair?
Yeah, I needed it. Like, dude, my hair has always been so awful. Like, it's embarrassing, but nobody teaches Jews how to I mean, pre-internet, nobody taught Jews how to do their hair. Thanks, Shay.
Do you have a SoundCloud? Your music is so dope.
I'd love you to answer this.
I do have a SoundCloud.
No, dude.
It doesn't have much on it right now.
No, dude, that's not the answer.
What? Okay, you answer it then.
Okay, good point. Dude, we're trying to get our music together. All the music that's on our YouTube channel, we're trying to get organized because I think that people give a fuck. And I don't think that because I'm assuming it. I'm thinking it because people message and say, you know, I want to hear more of your music. So we need to get our shit together. And I don't think they're talking about the kind of music that you have on your SoundCloud.
Yeah, I have some experimental music.
Yeah, you have experimental music. They're asking for some chill ass shit.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, I have one, and it's like, they're not talking about you, the person. They're talking about them, what they
ambient
want.
music, that's chill.
Dude, I like some of your ambient music.
Okay,
Start
thanks.
from the top. Is that from the top?
I think so. Is it?
Look at that.
Am I missing one?
Yep, right there.
This?
Nope.
This?
Yes.
Where do you get the inspiration from?
Dude, okay, I read this book one time about habits and how people can change habits and how difficult it is to change habits. Really fucking good book. Forget what it's called. I think it's actually called Habits. And they were saying that some people who get addicted to what is the word? Gambling addictions, they get that because their brain is kind of sending out these chemicals that make them feel like they've won before they've even played. Whereas some people, it's cause and effect. And other people, like people with gambling addiction, they have it turned around. They feel good before the cause. Like they feel the effect before the cause. And that is exactly how I feel pretty much with anything that I'm into, especially YouTube videos. Like,
so the inspiration is from within.
Dude, it's bizarre. I just, like, when I make a video, I feel like $1,000,000. Like, I can't explain it. And then after, like, that feeling just, it feeds itself because I want to, like, you just chase that feeling. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's like a closed loop, you know, right? Isn't that a closed loop? Like, I feel good, so then I do good, and then I do good, and then that reinforces that feeling. It's like, I make a video, I feel awesome, so then, because I feel good, I'm inspired, and now I'm inspired, I'll make a video, and then this video makes me feel awesome. You see? It's, yeah.
Okay.
Fucking drugs.
Do you actually consider yourself an anarchist? Not sure if this is too risky for a YouTube video, but I'm curious. I also originally found your channel when my fiance showed a video you guys posted of a, what is it, Ferocement house?
I don't know, but that's our tiny house.
Okay. Do you guys actually live there? Anyways, my fiance and I love your blog and your YouTube channel.
Dude, thanks for the love. Seriously, if you guys feel any love, like, we fucking appreciate it, dude. And I send the love back. I always do. Do you consider yourself an anarchist? Fuck no, dude. Like, all fucking labels, it's so fucking... I've had a long fucking run. Like, you don't sleep on the floor in a fucking pile of blankets in your 30s in a shitty-ass apartment just on accident. Like, that's like years and years of, like, drilling yourself with, like, a fucking police in your mind that's telling you, like, how awful, you know, consumerism is, how awful buying shit is, how awful, like, having shit, how awful aesthetics are, like, how useless aesthetics are, like, just, like, all this fucking awful self-talk that really takes out the inspiration, takes out the creativity, takes out any motivation to offer anything good to the world. This is, I guess I'm just speaking on my own behalf. So, like, anarchism, veganism, like, all the hippieism that oh my god, like, all that shit, all the dogma in my brain, I cannot do it. Not to say, if you're an anarchist and and you're fucking getting your shit done, you fucking feel champion, like, fuck yeah, let's hang out, you know? Like, let's hang out and talk shit on everyone who's not like us or whatever, but, yeah, I can't, if I call myself an anarchist, like, dude, the fucking police in my mind will tear me apart. Which I used to think was completely normal. Like, I thought if I wasn't tearing myself apart, like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, I don't know.
And I assume they meant the tiny house. We did, but not anymore.
Dude, wait to see what happens in the future. I think we're gonna do some interesting ass shit in the future.
Yeah.
I think we'll outdo the tiny house.
If there was one person in your life that you could bring to the plant-based side, past or present, who would it be and why?
No, dude, that's not the right question at all. I think it's a good question. And I used to, like, essentially live in that place 24 hours a day. Like all I could think, like, in my mind, I would seriously, and this is so annoying, but I essentially was always having conversations with these faceless people in my mind, like trying to explain, like, 16 pounds of grain equal 1 pound of beef, and, you know, there's XYZ, right? Like, dead zones, like, you know, this is how the way the world works. And if people just understood, like, I just was always feeling this compulsive thoughts of, like, how do I, you know, essentially wake people up. That's kind of how I thought of it. And I don't think that way anymore. Like, the way I think now, instead of saying, if there's one person in your life that you could bring to another point of view, what I would do is I would try to see, like, what somebody else wants. Like, ask them, like try to help somebody see what they aren't even aware of that they want. Like, not what I want for them, but, like, help people see what they want for themselves. It's hard to explain, but it's like a really strong feeling. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what inspires you? Like, that kind of hippie-ass shit. Like, that's what I feel more motivated to.
So you wouldn't bring back Nelson Mandela and make him a vegan?
He's not in my life, dude.
All right. Just kidding. Do you guys have any pets? Also, where are you from? So many questions.
Dude, I love all these questions. I'm fucking basking in this fucking self-discovery shit. Can you tell? Is it obvious? Do we have any pets? No, but my
we pet sit sometimes.
We pet sit. So my workout buddy is vegan. And she didn't know me well as vegan. She's one of the few fucking people who's into health and veganism who didn't know me as a vegan. She met me in the last, like, 4 years. And she's, like, probably one of the closest people I'm to, like, a chat, you know, because we see her so often, and me and her love to talk about, like, entrepreneurialism. Like, we just talk shop all the fucking time. And so she goes out of town for business a lot. She's self-employed. And she has pets, and we pet sit, so I feel like I get, like, this pet time. And then I listened to that Tim Ferriss interview with that lady. I should remember her name. If you look up his interviews, he did this one with a dog trainer, and my eyes were watering. You probably could give a fuck. You did the look you gave me. You're like, don't care, dude. That interview where he was talking with the dog trainer, it was, like, so touching. It was like, oh my god. Just that sort of connection with the pet, with, like, your dog in particular, where there's, like, that level of respect and communication is so fucking intimate and so genuine. It's like, oh my god, dude, I want a fucking dog. But I am so fucking cheap and I am so fucking lazy that these feelings are definitely in conflict. The level of wanting a dog with the level of cheap and lazy, it's like they're fucking neck and neck. But we can't, I mean, we live in an apartment, and I love cats. You guys should see that documentary that we saw. It's not Ketty. It's not ethical. It's not emotional. It's not like crybaby bullshit. It's like a documentary where this guy just follows around cats that live in the city, and it's shot so beautifully. Pause this video right now. Get on YouTube. Look up the trailer for Ketty. Kedi. Kedi. Pause this shit right now. Look up Ketty, dude. That documentary, I had water in my eyes. It was so touching just seeing, like, you know, he goes through the lives of, like, 7 cats. Like, one's the hustler, one's the lover, one's, you know, it's like all these personalities, and it's so beautifully shot. It's like a new documentary, so it's not like fucking crusty old video. It's, like, beautiful. I love cats. I love dogs.
Where are you from?
Upstate New York, but I've been in Texas since 1996, year of Biggie and Tupac. What about you? Where are you from?
year of Antichrist Superstar for me.
What?
Marilyn Manson.
Is that... What do you mean?
That's my favorite Marilyn Manson album. All right, we're moving on.
What does that have to do with where you're from?
I was just talking about 1996. I'm from Texas.
Dude, whatever.
What is the reason or reasons you became vegan, and how long ago did you make that decision?
The reason I went vegan, the number one reason I went vegan is because was essentially for like the impact on the planet, like environmental reasons, and not like cutting down trees, but like all the like it just felt like, you know, to grow all these animals, just the level of resources it took and where these resources came from just seems so devastating. Like, and okay, the reason why I'm clarifying the environment part, because it was like a huge part of it was just environmentally based. Wasn't like environmentally like, oh, the trees, we need trees. It's like, it wasn't about like the human's environment. It's like the planet's environment. It's hard to explain. It's probably not hard to explain. I feel like there's more to that question that clarifies.
Just how long ago did you make that decision, I guess?
So that was... I was 17. I'm, 33 and a half now? So how long ago is that?
Like 15 years,
so
more or less.
So 15 years ago I went vegan. No, it's been way longer than that.
Before 15?
No, I feel like it's been way longer. So it was from 17 to 26.
Okay.
Whatever that math is.
That's less than that time. Okay, anyway. I noticed the person deadlifting on your shirt. Assuming you work out, what is the routine like on a weekly basis? Do you mainly lift weights? Do you do strength training? Or do you do a mix of activities?
So that shirt, I made that for our Etsy page, and
you took that picture, didn't you?
I did. I took that photo of a guy at a competition. A friend of mine was doing a deadlift competition. I forget what the fuck that shit's called, because I'm not like part of the like community or whatever. So I made that shirt for our Etsy page, and then American Apparel got fucking bought out, went bankrupt twice, have not been profitable since 2009. It's like, how the fuck do they own all these fancy ass stores and fancy ass malls? Anyway. So then I took all the clothes down temporarily. So what is the question? Is my workout routine on a weekly basis? So I regularly go to the gym. I'm new to fitness. Way new. Triple, quadruple new. So I'd say in the last a little bit over a year now, I've been consistently going to the gym. So the goal is to work on body composition, essentially get the body fat down, and the muscle mass up while maintaining weight. Maybe losing a couple pounds. I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. Probably maybe not losing a couple pounds. Maybe just body recomposition. But since like right now, even though I strongly fucking want to do a lot of like heavy lifting, there's two things why I'm not doing heavy lifting right now. Number one, okay, so I'm very much a black or white kind of person, like all in, like tunnel fucking vision, and that's really burned me a lot in the past, like a whole lot. It's how I work, so I guess it doesn't totally, I mean, that's how I fucking work, but so right now, instead of being like, balls to the wall, weights all day, right? Instead, it's like, okay, let's build the habit of just showing up to the fucking gym. Even if I don't do shit at the gym, just show up and make that like a solid fucking habit. So right now, even though I could be being productive with heavy weights, which is the goal, I don't go nuts because I really just need to be consistent with showing up at the gym. And then once that feels like a solid part of my identity or my daily routine or whatever, then, you know, not then, I mean, in addition to that, like weightlifting will be a huge part of that. I already know it, like, no doubt. And then the other thing is, I really need to go to the chiropractor. Like, anytime I do any sort of like lower body stuff, even just fucking body weight squats, like any sort of lower body stuff, it's like, I have some knee issues from years and years and years of waitressing, crazy, like I had these walking ambitions, like I'm walking from the suburbs to the city and back, like just like these fucking ridiculous, like I love walking, and I feel like that on top of like working like 60-hour like high volume, you know, waitressing hours or whatever, like I just fucked up my foot and my knee, so I need to fucking shell out a couple $100. Essentially I need a couple $100 to shell out, so but we do have one more routine. So, like a little over a year ago, my older sister just completely unexpectedly died. Before waking her kids up for school or whatever. So for long, complicated reasons, her 3 kids had to go to separate homes in the family. And one of the middle kid, he comes to our place, you know, since she died, like every other weekend, sometimes every weekend, and then, you know, a couple weeks in the summer we get him too. So we have a very strong routine with him, and I think he road bike or whatever when he was like, you know, a little kid or whatever, living with his mom, but I think we really legitimately introduced him to bike riding, because I don't think he went on these crazy bike rides. So we took him on these crazy ass bike rides, and he's a little kid, he loves bike riding. So whenever we have him, we go on these crazy bike rides. Like for the first year that we had him, we had a tandem bike, and you're a good man, dude. You fucking tandem bike this kid all around, and he'd always be like, oh, let's go further, and we'd go on these 30-mile fucking bike rides, you pulling a 50-pound kid behind you and a 50-pound bike or whatever. And now that he just started biking on his own,
it's much easier now.
It's much easier on you, hats off to you, and he can't bike as much. Like
he takes more breaks.
Takes way, like we'd never take breaks when we were biking with him, and now he's every like so many minutes he's like, can we take a break? It's like, yeah, of course. And so we go on, like his limit's like 20 miles. We can bike 20 miles and he's kind of like done. Even though I can tell the glitter in his eye, like he wants to keep biking, but it's like, dude, you got little fucking legs with no muscles. Like when you hit puberty, we'll probably tear it up, but until then, like, so we go on at minimum 20 miles a day when we have him on the weekend. So we'll probably do like 40 miles or more every other weekend on the bike. That's when he's not around. Sometimes we bike, you know, without his ass. It's like 7 miles an hour when we bike with him. That's fine.
Okay.
I love walking. If I could just, like, if my foot wasn't fucked, dude, I'd walk like a fucking hobo.
And they also said, P.S. love your videos and filming editing style.
Dude, I really appreciate that.
Okay, next question. First off, I have to say that I love your voice. It is rad to watch your videos. What is your favorite dessert to make, and who inspires you?
Dude, I cannot get over banana ice cream. Seriously, bananas, cocoa powder, and just the other day I discovered coconut flakes makes it rad, and cacao nibs. I don't know why I wasn't putting that shit on there before, but
you've been making like some variation of banana ice cream or banana smoothie every day for like the past 7 years or something. Like you've just been making it forever.
No, when I was paleo or whatever, I wasn't doing that. It was like as soon as I went paleo, I was like, yeah, bananas,
you had a break from it, but
I was doing ultra low carb for like 4 years.
Besides that, though, like
after that, I was like, bring on the banana, dude. Yeah,
there's always frozen bananas in the freezer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who inspires me? Like as a person? Like in general?
Yeah, anyone.
Oprah.
No,
dude, who inspires me?
I don't know, Tim Ferriss, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Tim Ferriss. I really love listening to, like, the interviews on, like, Hot 97 and The Breakfast Club. Like, I love listening to interviews with, like, rappers and shit, like...
Successful people.
Yeah, essentially, like, successful people, and especially when it's, like, artists or people that their success is them just being themselves. Danny fucking Brown.
Yeah.
Dude, Danny Brown. There, like, the second I remember Danny Brown is like, Danny Brown. That's who inspires me. For real. Like, oh my god. Okay.
I like your tattoos. Heart. Which one which one was the last tattoo you got, and what was the meaning behind it?
I got my fingers done, like the fingers, not the hand. Was the last one I got done. That was probably like 2 years ago at this point, 2.5 years ago. And there's no meaning.
It's just abstract. Do any of your tattoos have meaning?
Come on, move on. Stop adding questions. This shit is long.
You've been an inspiration. I love your videos. Do you have any tips on vitamin supplements or how to make sure that one is getting all their daily requirements of nutrition while cooking vegan?
Dude, thanks. Man, if I give you inspiration, thank you. Do you have any tips on vitamin supplements or how to make sure you're getting all the daily requirements? So you could do what do you call that? Like the calorie counting websites, any of those. You can add what you eat every day, like tracking your food, and you're not having to track your calories. Like you could give a fuck less about that. You could track every day and just check your macronutrients and your micronutrients. I've been tracking my calories in particular for the last, 3 or 4 years. And
so you use FitnessPal?
Yes.
Okay.
Nobody friend me on that shit. I'm not friending anybody on that shit. Like that shit is private. Anyway, so okay.
Sorry, are you offended?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, that's some personal fucking information. Anyway, so I've been using that for years, and I was only using it for calories, and I was never checking the micronutrients or the macronutrients. And then one day, like I think it was like 2 years in, I was like, oh, there's this button, I could just click it and find out. Like I was so anti-healthy eating, just from all those years of being obsessed with it. I was like, fuck healthy eating. Okay, so one day I looked and I was like, holy fuck. And so I had 2 years of tracking, and I went through like a lot of the fucking days, and I realized I get like no calcium. I'm not even fucking, like, I'm not vegan. I can get as much calcium as I want, like as I choose. I don't choose foods with calcium. I was like, holy fuck, dude. Like my iron and my calcium are extremely low, or pretty much non-existent all the fucking time. So you can keep tabs on that. So now that I'm aware of that, I'm like, oh. So then I started being proactive and using almond milk because it's fortified with calcium. So I started using almond milk or whatever's, fortified, whatever the fuck you want. So, okay, so the front end is how do you make sure you're getting enough is, well, you track what you're eating, and then it's not a guessing game. You look at the fucking numbers and it's like, bitch, you got no fucking calcium in your diet. And it's like, oh, okay. And then so that's the front end of what you're putting in. And then the back end is you get tested, which I've never done, to see if you're absorbing or having any sort of like weird absorption issues. So you could make sure you're trying your best on the front end, and then on the back end, just get tested once, however is recommended. And then if you see that you're legitimately low, that's when you need to supplement, and then fucking do it, which I probably should have done.
I saw that you came to Costa Rica, so if you could travel again this year, which country would you choose to go to? So
I've never been to Costa Rica. That was a video where I interviewed my friend Suma, who, I think the video is called something like 3 years of traveling and no job. I went to Costa Rica on, I forget what it was like $30, or like he fucking left the country with like a handful of ones or some shit. So that was an interview with him. I've never been to Costa Rica, and the country I would go to is, I want to go wherever Mark wants to go. Mark has a lot more travel ambitions. Where do you want to go? Where are we going?
I just want to dig through records in different European countries.
Sweet, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you block the YouTube comments? I would love to give reviews and questions there too. And how come you're so creative and good at cooking? Have you had any experiences in gastronomy before YouTube?
Thank you.
Would you say you're a gastronomer?
I don't even know what that means. Okay, you block the YouTube comments. Why? Because people just talk a lot of shit. You know, it's like it's so bizarre. I mean, this isn't just me. I've heard this in books I've read and interviews where people kind of talk about like how humans express themselves, like anonymously, or how we experience, you know, like negativity and shit. And one of the things I've heard is, and this is what I'm, I guess, essentially saying, is that for every billions of positive comments, positive reinforcement, praise and glory, one shitty ass thing is like, it just kind of erases all the positivity, which is unfortunate. And, you know, obviously the rest of the planet has their YouTube comments on, so everybody can fucking get over it. But it's like, why should I mean, it's not why should I subject myself. I know why, because you guys want to chat. But I have these other ways you can chat with me, which is, you know, Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Twitter, but I don't fucking, you know, I mean, whatever. You guys want to chat with me anywhere, chat with me, like, for real. Like, don't feel like, because the YouTube comments, I started all the, like, Facebook and Instagram specifically because I felt like it's bullshit if it's a one-way conversation. Like, if I'm talking over all the videos and you just have to, like, listen, it just feels unfair. Like, I'm not a big fan of one-way conversations. So I started these other areas, so that way, if you guys want to chat, like, come over and chat. Like, don't feel like YouTube is, you know, yeah, it's fucked that I'm doing it that way, but that's kind of how it is. If you want to review, like, you guys should, like, leave reviews or, you know, comment on the recipes. Like, if you try a recipe, come to the blog. Like, comment on there, and that would make, like, the most sense to me, who wants to control the fucking... Do you have any experience in gastronomy? Is that just cooking?
I thought that was, like, the gastrointestinal tract.
Yeah, like that's like your digestion. That's food, right?
Yeah, I thought that was like a scientific
experience in... Well, I'm not a scientist. Now that we've decided that that word means it's science-based, we know I'm not that. I worked in the food industry for 16 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, feel free to rewrite your question for like a first grade level, elementary level. Like, I can answer any of those questions.
Your channel was where I first saw a blue smoothie before...
Right the fuck on.
Before the unicorn drinks became a norm. Thank you for keeping vegan exciting.
Dude, you're welcome. That's all I want to fucking do is dazzle you guys with vegan recipes. I'm not joking. Like, if I'm not dazzling you with vegan recipes, it's like I'm doing my job wrong.
What is your personal favorite vegan recipe?
You know who wrote that?
Who?
Dude, that's Melanie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, dude. That's so... my name is Melanie, and then when I was in 7th grade, like the year after, I moved to Texas when I was in 6th grade. The very next year, Melanie moved to Texas from St. Louis, and we sat next to each other in math class, 7th grade. I got kicked out of math class. I was such a fuck up, dude. Permanently removed. When the state of Texas is like, you're a problem, you need to go to ISS, the entire math class. One of us was like, is your name Melanie? My name's Melanie. Let's be friends. And we fucking connected over Tupac. And what was her question?
What is your personal favorite vegan recipe?
Dude, banana ice cream. It's like smoothies can be the same exact thing. And it's like a world of difference. You don't know. You don't get in on all this banana situation.
I love it whenever you make them. I never take the time to make it myself.
What, a smoothie?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'd make you smoothie anytime you wanted.
Okay.
Banana ice cream.
Thanks.
Toots.
I love your videos.
Yeah,
you make the food pop.
Thank you.
I would like to know your relation to non-vegan people. Do you demonize them?
What? That's not funny, dude. I know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know. Or do you...
I like that you think it's funny, though.
Or you don't care at all what they eat?
When I was vegan, I was super, like... And I guess I'm just wired this way in general. I have a very... I mean, just look at how long this fucking video is. I have a very strong inclination to want to explain shit. There's, like, it's almost naive on the outside, but on the inside, it's just how I'm wired. I feel like and this sounds naive to say out loud, I feel like if I could just explain my case, people would care and understand, and we'd all come together and be a big fucking happy family. You know what I mean? Like, when I was vegan, I didn't consciously demonize people because I seriously had it in my mind that it was just ignorance. I just didn't know, and if we just talked it out. So everybody was a potential. Everybody was on the verge of being vegan in my mind because they just had to come to the light or whatever. Like, it was totally possible. However, I used to read this blog, like, when I was a raw foodist, like, towards the end or whatever. I don't know if you guys ever read The Raw Model. This was years ago. And I remember he had this post where he was kind of demonizing people. Like, they think they're so spiritual, but they eat cooked food. And I remember feeling like he was saying some shit I was feeling that I wasn't even conscious I was feeling. Like, he named, like, that's hard to explain. Like, he just said some shit that's like, damn, dude, he's saying it and I'm feeling it, you know? You know what I mean? So I think I didn't consciously demonize people, but then when I decided to change my eating and introducing all foods, plant foods, junk food, junk food was a big ordeal to bring junk food into my life. Bringing animal food was a big fucking ordeal. Like, these things were not just like, fuck it, party over here. I mean, it was like a big fucking ordeal. And the level of demonization in my mind, is that a word? Just like, it just, that police in my mind got real, like, for real, it's like, nobody can be harder on you than yourself, especially when you're kind of like a perfectionist or have really high standards. I have, like, brutally high standards. I didn't even realize it. It was just so ingrained in me. I just think, like, well, there's higher standards than what I have because my standards are so high. It's hard to explain. So,
yeah, remember you read that thing about your personality and it said perfectionist?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not even a perfectionist. I'm not perfect.
Yeah, that was like a week ago. There was a huge light because I remember I've read that multiple times whenever I've taken different personality tests, and they'd all say, and like the dark side of your personality is that you can have too high of standards and you can be too much of a perfectionist. And I would always feel like that shit rubbed me the wrong way. It's like, motherfuckers, I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not even close, or perfectionist, and I'd have these high standards of what a perfectionist is, and I'm not even perfect enough to be that. And it clicked the other day for the first time. I was like, oh. So for a perfectionist or someone with high horse standards, it's like, no one's gonna beat me up more than I'll beat myself up. Like, some people, when they get mad, they literally want to fight people. Like, I've always been very internally, like, the turmoil has always been internal. Like, I don't need, like, and so where is this all going? If I didn't, you only hold people to the standard that you have for yourself in your mind, you know? And it's usually not even shit you're living up to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, all the faceless people on YouTube that were talking shit, like, oh, you're so ugly. It's like, none of you people calling me ugly have pictures in your profiles. Like, you clearly are not glamorous. If you had some fucking twinkly eyes, you would be showing it. Like, people are fucking ridiculous. So, yeah.
Who are your favorite YouTube vegan channels?
I kind of avoid shit like that because it's triggering. I love that word, trigger. Trigger is such a dramatic, like, you're a fucking snowflake and, like, you can't handle shit, which is, I get triggered by the fucking comments. So I'm only talking about myself. So I can't watch vegan YouTube because, or I try not to, or I usually don't because it's too fucking triggering. Like, dude, like, I can think for myself, or at least I try to. Like, it's like I've got more questions than answers. When people start shouting out this and this, it's like all I hear are the assumptions. Like, it's like, it's hard to explain. Like, when people say in order to be healthy, you got to do X, Y, and Z. There's a lot of assumptions.
So like the ones with an agenda, more of an agenda?
Yeah, or you got to do this to be happy. There's all these assumptions. It's like you assume that in order to this, you got to do that. And it's like there are endless amount of people who are not doing that, who are still getting, different, results that they're okay with. So when somebody has this like definitive, the worst fucking vegan channel is like the 18-year-old girls with like fucking ebooks. It's like my eyes are fucking bleeding. Like I cannot, like if you like in these, I'm sorry to shit on all your fucking favorite YouTubers right now, but seriously, like I can't relate to that. I mean, I could years ago, or at least I could imagine. I wasn't really on YouTube years ago. But when it's like when they've got like 100, like you got like 100,000+ followers, like 200, 300, which is badass, like fucking awesome. Like that's fucking not the criticism here. The criticism is like you're 18 and you got like a solid fucking story for life. It's like, dude, I'm in my 30s. I've gone through some solid fucking shit and I came out the other side and I now see it's not as black and white. I swear to God, I thought shit was fucking solid. And I can poke holes in all my old fucking mental stories. So when people have a fucking ebook, they start their fucking YouTube videos with their ebooks. I'm like, fucking click back, like X out. Like we're not watching anybody's fucking shit. But now that I've gone on a tirade and talked shit on people who I probably would love to be like in the future, okay, who are my favorite vegan YouTube channels? I don't have any favorites, but I've been watching, what the fuck's that chick's name? Chelsea Lifts. And some of her shit's kind of boring, and that's fine. I know some of my shit's boring too, so it's cool. But I watch her shit because she doesn't have a super strong, like diet agenda. Like she's vegan, but I don't get any of that like my way or the highway vibe, which at this age I can't do that. And then when dude, why I like her has nothing obviously to do with how she eats. I like that she's kind of transparent. Like you don't even know who the fuck I'm talking about. What I'm saying is like she's like she's like a business chick. She's into fitness. I'm interested in fitness. I'm not interested in health, but I am interested in physical fitness. I'm interested in vanity, for the first time ever. So she's interested in that. I'm interested in that. And she's a straight shooter, but she's not like offensive. Like she's not insensitive. Like she's a straight shooter who is incredibly respectful of different people, which is like the best of both fucking worlds. Like she's not like overly fucking cheery. Like, she's just a straight shooter, but she's nice. And so, I would totally do a collaboration video with, what's that chick's name? Eden Jax, who does the, What a Fat Vegan Eats in a Day. She's in Austin and we're in Dallas, so we're, like, physically close enough. I would totally get in the front of her camera and chat it up with her. Like, she seems fucking cool, and she has a more outgoing personality than me. She definitely seems more chit-chatty. I could probably do more of the listening, but I think she'd be entertaining as fuck. There was another vegan chick, I'm trying to think of her name, Keisha+4 or something like that. I don't really watch her videos anymore, but I remember watching a few, and it was actually her videos. I don't even know if you guys know what I'm talking about. None of these people have like a crazy amount of followers, but Keisha+4, like, she's just this vegan chick. I don't think her husband's vegan. I don't even know if her kids are vegan. Like, she just is a very positive person. And that was what got me to want to even watch any other vegan YouTuber. Because I felt like if it said a vegan YouTuber, like, we're already gonna fucking have some issues. But watching her, I was like, alright, I'll watch other vegans. And since then, it's been good. So, shout out to her.
Okay, this one's good. I was hoping you would have pictures of your DIY bedroom haul because I wanted to leave a comment about it. Wow! Exclamation mark. OMG, dude, what a transformation.
Dude, I love this chick. Me and this chick chatted up, dude, all the time. I love this chick.
I fucking loved all of it. It went from drab to fab, seriously. Good taste for reals. I was wondering how it was all going to come together, and just wowza, girl, you such a creative bitch.
Dude, I love this chick. We chatted up, we were telling each other about our whole lives. She has a fucking crazy past. Like, she was also, I think, like, used to be vegan, and, you know, she's got her whole story. And, like, I was telling her, you know, like, about my sister dying, and I was, like, telling her about my past. I told her I used to be in, like, you know, like a fucking hippie cult. Like, she comes from an interesting, like, kind of cult, like, thing. And, dude, she's fucking badass. I like this chick.
Since you're not vegan, how often do you choose all vegan days of eating?
Why would I choose all vegan days of eating?
I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
Also, I love your videos / blogs.
Yay.
I think it's also great the way you guys respond to everyone so quickly and kindly. With all of your side projects, question number 2, do you have assistants for your social media platforms, or do you guys actually reply to everything yourself? Keep up the good work.
Dude, I like this chick. That's a savvy fucking question. Like, am I answering my own shit? I'm curious, like, is everybody aware that people don't fucking answer? Like, I don't usually think that unless it's like a celebrity, like, you know what I mean? But, that's a savvy fucking question. No, I definitely, fuck, dude,
we couldn't afford someone.
Dude, no. I need to take my ass to the fucking $2 fucking chiropractor, and that's a big fucking ordeal. Dude, but you did notice that okay, so it looks like I respond quickly. I respond quickly on Instagram because I'm a fucking old person, and if I don't respond every day, I lose track of comments, and then I notice them like 3 weeks later, and I feel like, oh, I wanted to fucking respond. How did I miss this? I just feel frustrated. So I check Instagram. I try to every day, maybe every other day. So it looks like I'm on it, because if I don't, I fucking miss comments. Facebook, I only log on to Facebook. Like, I got too butthurt. Like I told you guys, all my fucking friends, I developed the majority of my friends, you know, a million years ago. You know,
there's a lot of agenda in your feed.
Oh my god, everybody's like reposting that if you eat a banana with fucking brown spots, your cancer will go. It's like, dude, I cannot handle any of this bullshit. Like, I was so anti-science. Like, I get where they're coming from, but I just want to jump in. Like, or when people are like trying to intimidate their family, like, into going vegan, and they're just using all this bullshit ass reasons, and I just want to jump in and be like, I'm cool with you being vegan, that's not the problem. Like, the shit you're saying to scare people is fucking inaccurate, and you're being disrespectful. Like, it just makes my blood boil. So it's like, I don't log on Facebook. I never dig through my personal feed. But then when those people who are posting that crazy ass shit, as soon as we hang out, it's like, I love these people. For real, like, these are the most badass fucking people, hands down, in the world. Like, I wish they could all be on our fucking YouTube videos. I think people would dig them. But so I only log on to Facebook when I'm uploading shit to the what is it, the fucking Anarchist Kitchen Facebook page. So it's like maybe once or twice a week. So if you message me on Facebook, like, you're gonna get a late response, but it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's just because I haven't logged in. And so Instagram, I'm always logging in, right? But we took a huge hit. Like, I was looking at our eBay sales, and like the last couple months, we lost a couple $1,000 because I was seriously like just so fucking into doing YouTube. Like, I was just not really prioritizing the shit that pays the bills. So we took a huge financial hit. Now I'm like, can we just do both? Like, is there a way I can maintain the level of, you know, dedication I put into YouTube while still actually, you know, growing our legitimate income that we truly fucking need?
Okay, moving on. Do you like scary stuff? For example, Halloween, scary games, movies, or shows?
No, dude, I'm the biggest fucking weenie. Like, I don't like surprises. I don't, oh my god, like, I think the worst. I can't, like, even when I was vegan, I could never watch those awful videos of animal slaughter. It's like, dude, I'm too fucking sensitive. Like, no. Like, I'm traumatized. Like, I've got enough emotional fucking turmoil. Like, I don't have any, you know, my cup is full. You know what I mean?
Most painful tattoo?
My fingers were pretty fucking awful. As soon as he did them, it was fine. Like, while he was tattooing my finger, it was fine. And then within like 2-minute delay, my fingers felt like they were on fire. Like every second, my brain would just repeat the words like, hey, your hand's in a fire, you need to take it out. My body literally assumed my fingers were sitting in a true, like I was baking a pizza and I just left my hand in there. And I'm like, dude, I get the signal, but I can't do anything about it. It was so fucking awful. It was all very painful for a long time. Don't get tattooed.
I have just found your YouTube channel and I fucking love it. Thank you, y'all, a trip.
No, thank you.
How old are you? Do you identify with anarchist philosophy, referring to your channel name? What did you think of the Danny Brown vinyls you got?
Oh, dude, he said Danny Brown. Dude, I love this guy. Okay, how old are you? 33 and a half, right?
Sounds about right.
How old are you?
Almost 30.
How are you still in your 20s? We've been married for like ever.
Yeah, I know.
We've been married like, what, 8 years?
7.5, 8.
Some crazy, like, almost 10 years and you're still in your 20s. Okay. So that's how old I am. Do I identify with anarchist philosophies? Yeah, definitely. Like, deeply. But, like I've mentioned before, it's like, even though I identify deeply, it ends up eating me a lot. That's how, I mean, it's hard to explain, but that's how much I identify with shit to the point where it consumes me. Like, that's why I never had, I mean, that's not why. Me being interested in, like, aesthetics or vanity, it's completely new. That shit was completely crowded out with, like, militant ideas of how the world is and how the world works. I deeply identify with it, but I can't use those, you know. I can't be limited by, you know, some of that. You gotta put me in there somewhere. What do you think of the Danny Brown vinyl you got?
It's an excellent pressing.
What does that mean?
It sounds good.
Dude, I am no, not obsessed. Obsessed is not even the word. I love Danny Brown. Like, I watch all of his interviews. I've probably watched the majority of them. Like, Yeah,
it's a badass album too.
That album, like, When It Rained, is, like, that video alone. I love that video. That video is so good, and there's so many good songs on there. I love the album Old. I don't know. Have you listened to Old, gentlemen who have asked me these questions? Because I love that album. I think Old is epic. I think this album is fucking awesome. There's so many good songs on there. And I need to listen to it more. My music setup's kind of fucked right now. We need to get that. Oh, we need to get my music set up.
I'm so fucking stoked. I love you too. MFS on the tube.
Thank you, April. You are too kind.
Okay. You always say something like, music always by us. Is there any way how I can listen to or buy your music?
So...
Working on it.
Yeah, we're working on it, dude. Like I said, we lost... I don't want to say it. Okay. The truth is, we lost a bunch of money on eBay because I was super focused on YouTube. But who gives a fuck? Like, that's what I want to do. That's how it is. So essentially what I'm saying is my plate is very full, but I am extremely motivated to get a music set up, and sometimes it's a full-time job just trying to get Mark to help me with certain things, you know, because he has a full plate and he's not as motivated to do certain things by certain, like, I get timelines and deadlines in my head, and I don't think your mind works so strict. I don't think you have a fucking militant voice in your head telling you to get shit done.
No.
You're like, my mind is great. We're working on it. I have no idea when. It's like all I fucking want to do, but there's a lot of shit I fucking want to do.
Yeah, we just need the time.
Well, that's one way the brain can think of it. And you got deadlines.
Alright, next question.
Okay.
I love your videos.
Thank you.
I just created your smashed potatoes tonight.
Dude, yes, those are so good. So good.
Okay, next is, what's up? Love the wall in your bedroom behind the bed. In overall, great work. Loved it.
Thank you.
My question is, why are you no more living in your tiny house, and what happened to it? Love you, dude.
The tiny house kind of came from the place of, I need to drop out of society. Like, I didn't think that consciously in my head, But if I look back and look at kind of like my behavior, my motivation, my attitude, the kind of vibe, like all the shit I was into, essentially I was thinking I need to drop out of society. So when I, and I was serious. Like, I wasn't just like, oh, society sucks. I wish this was a different place. I was like, fuck this, I'm out. And so we saved up money, bought a tiny house and land, and then after a year of, like, essentially, what do you call that? What is that saying? Like, lying in the bed you made. What is that saying?
I'm not sure.
It's like the saying, like, you made your bed, now you have to lay in it. There's a fucking idiom. I love it. I don't know how to say it. After making reality of dropping out of society, like really taking that first step, it was like I realized that, I don't know how to say it, like that I was essentially, I almost said possessed, that's not the word, compulsive. I was compulsively going through life forever, like like I was thinking, like the whole time I was vegan, I was like thinking of like how would a vegan do this? How would, what are the vegan rules? Like, how do I do this in a vegan way? Or like I was looking on the outside for answers. And same with, anarchism or minimalism, or like, not minimalism, but like anti-consumerism. I was just always trying to figure out what my next step in life would be based on the rules of these isms. And I never really figured out what I wanted. Like, I didn't even think it mattered. I honestly didn't think it mattered what I wanted. I thought what mattered was doing these things, was being the best of these things. And so when we're in the tiny house, it was like all the, 15 fucking years of mental pressure came crashing down. It was like you can only suppress your own feelings and thoughts and preferences, so fucking long before you realize that there's more than just the rules. Like, there's these subtle things in between, which I did this interview, which is under Strange But True on the YouTube page. It's like under that playlist with my friend Jess. And she talks about energy versus form. That something can look good, but it may not feel good. Or something can look bad and be perfect. And one of the things she was talking about, or she was telling me, was there was a time when she was kind of like being a gutter punk and living homeless, like a couple of our friends have done. And that on the outside, you would think that she was having the worst time, and that she had the worst life, and she must be miserable. But she said, it was the exact opposite. And I felt like she was essentially talking about, how I'd been functioning for so long, which is not even addressing, well, how does this feel to me, and that was, so we sold the tiny house, and I had to kind of reevaluate how I made decisions.
So nice to finally see your face. I love watching your YouTube videos.
Thanks.
And always wonder what you look like. Haha. Much love always, and thanks for sharing your recipes. Next question.
Dude, I wanted all these answers to be like hilarious, and I'm all getting Oprah on every fucking one of them.
Dude, so I watched your YouTube video hella years ago about the envelope system.
That's crazy.
And how you guys saved for your tiny house and land.
That's awesome.
I started budgeting after that because of you.
Crazy.
It just made sense in my head after that.
Mm-hmm.
LOL. What made you guys move out instead of building a little bigger so you could have running water and plumbing inside? And what do you guys do now for work/income?
Yeah, dude, we totally should have built it out.
Yeah.
That would have been like the long-term thinking, but
the land alone we could have done a lot with.
Dude, there was yeah.
So we shouldn't have just sold it.
Yeah,
I
was in a major reactive mode, which I think I pretty much lived in up until a couple of years ago, where I was just reacting to everything instead of like being decisive and making decisions like for myself. So, yeah, totally. We should have built it up.
Yeah.
What do you do for income now?
eBay.
Buy used shit and resell it for way more money online.
Yep. Are you Wiccan? Some other religion, spiritual in some other way? Sorry if that's too nosy. Also curious what you do for exercise, if anything. Re your shirt as a person mentioned above. P.S. Love all your videos. Keep them coming.
More videos to come.
Are you a Wiccan?
Am I Wiccan? I'm not even sure really what it is. I remember like when I was a teenager, it's like kind of like, you're so Wiccan, right? It's just like kind of
like a goth thing.
Yeah, like kind of like this hippie goth like nature vibe, but kind of like it had like a spiritual, like it was like energy on some level, but it was like material and like nature, like, you know, it wasn't just like ethereal, it was like physical. I don't know much about Wiccan. I actually mentioned Wiccan to my sister because I read a book when I was a teenager about Wiccan. I'm not Wiccan, I'm Jewish, but I'm Jewish by blood. I don't really follow any of the traditions, which, you know, my ego wishes I was like Jewish, right? So I always want to be like, I'm Jewish, bitch, because I am, like, fully, both my parents. Are you spiritual in other ways? I'm honestly still trying to figure out the spiritual. Dude, I'm getting Oprah on all these questions. That's why we're at 2 hours and we're only halfway through. Okay. I'm working on my spirituality in a sense. It's kind of complicated. I mean, I've had some interesting experiences with, like, the bullshit of law of attraction. You know, that horseshit law of attraction? I've had some success. So, I find, you know, something in there is meaningful to me, even though it's, like, so fucking tacky to say. Yeah.
Okay. Move on. I guess we already answered the exercise.
Oh, yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Hitting the gym.
Hitting the gym.
Would you ever consider doing a podcast?
Well, okay.
Kind of.
You're totally right. Thank you for clarifying. We have some interviews. It's cakeordeathradio.com. I'm pretty sure we pay every month to keep that website alive.
I think we average like maybe one podcast a year,
dude,
or less.
If you're a badass and you've got an interesting story, I'd love to interview you. Just let me know. I mean, who's actually 2 hours into this fucking YouTube video still listening? But if this video exists just for somebody awesome, someone who can tell a story, not just they have an interesting life, but then they don't know how to fucking edit themselves, or, I mean, not that I know how to, but, you know, just a good storyteller. So we have Cake or Death Radio. There is an interview of my older sister, which I'm so, like, pumped that I had recorded that, because she had autism, so I was just kind of like, hey, you should talk about what it's like to have autism, and then, you know, all your kids have special needs, like, you should just talk about being a person like that. So I've got that on there. I've got 2, I think, with Jess.
Yeah, I think you do.
The ones with Jess are my favorite. Just her, just kind of talking about, like, finding the contradictory elements of yourself and embracing them. Instead of feeling like a hypocrite or like confused or like you have to right the wrong, like embracing those contradictory things, like that's what's up. But if you, I wouldn't do like a podcast where I'm like the host, because like this is like a podcast. Like I just get so serious, and I like being like a dummy. This shit is more goofy. I just like being like silly. Maybe if there was like a badass host, I would co-host with someone who's silly. Like my little sister, I would co-host with her. If anybody wants to start a podcast who's silly, I'll start with you.
Okay. Another one about the music. We're working on it.
You should read it, just out of respect for someone who.
Is there any way I could download your dank ass music?
One day, friend.
Yes, soon.
And by the time it's ready, maybe our skills will actually start paying the bills, and they'll be worth downloading.
Yes. Where are you guys from, and how did you get into veganism?
So I'm from upstate New York, and I live in Dallas, Texas. I've been here for a long time. I have moved a lot. It took me a long time to be comfortable being here. I really didn't want to be here. So I left and came back, left and came back, left and came back, blah, blah, blah. When did you get into veganism? That was, I think, 2000... It was like 2000, 2001. It was early 2000s.
How did you and your boyfriend, husband, guy who talks in your video meet? What's the story?
Definitely watch our video called, what is it called? We Got Married at Whole Foods.
Yeah.
But essentially that bullshit, the law of attraction and using the power of the mind, we essentially attracted each other through our consciousness, man.
There was incense and...
No, there wasn't incense. But we met through wishing.
Yeah.
Through the wishing well.
Would you ever allow comments on your YouTube videos again?
Dude, you're my best friend. You're like sitting here reading all these questions. You're such a champ.
Working on it.
Listen to my Oprah bullshit.
Or is that just a done deal, no comments?
Seriously, because everybody says it so much, it's hard to believe that I'm just gonna be like, disregard, right? Like, it just seems crazy, but it's like, if I turned on the comments, it's like a full-time, like YouTube comments are a full-time job, and I'm already like trying to juggle just making videos while maintaining, to me it just seems too overwhelming, in addition to being a fucking baby about it. We'll see.
Talk about how you decided to start making these recipes and making videos and working with One Green Planet. Y'all fucking rock, and I laugh at your crazy stories every time.
Dude, thank you. How you decided to start making recipes? So I had...
Why did you originally make
because I had this friend who I was friends with this chick, or maybe acquaintances. We had mutual friends for a very long time, for years and years and years. And she even told me years later that she, like, really, she didn't say she looked up to me. I don't know how to say it. She's younger. But she just, like, you know, like, I was vegan, and she's, like, younger, and her parents wasn't into that, and, you know, and whatever. One time she said she saw me before we all had mutual friends, that we, like, walked out of a vegan restaurant, and she saw me, and she saw, like, my gauges in my ears, and was like, oh my god, that girl looks so cool, or some gay shit like that. Sorry, wrong word. Lame shit like that. And years later, you know, we had mutual friends, and it's like, we never were friends, even though we had similar friends. And then I really wanted to be her friend. That's like the bullshit part. Like, I really wanted her approval and all this stupid shit. She ended up fucking my boyfriend at one point. It was so fucking bullshit, dude. And then years later, I was like, you know, avoided her, and she, like, got on heroin and became a fucking, you know, another one of my homeless friends and all this bullshit. And then I was like, she started popping up back online, and I was like, oh, I want her friendship still, even though okay. So I kept reaching out to her, trying to connect, you know, and she was getting into, like, the raw till 4 dick riding shit, and she was like, I guess the dick riding shit was like, oh, you should make YouTube videos. So she was telling me that they were gonna make YouTube videos, and she was like, you should make YouTube videos. And I was like, and we weren't even talking about veganism, because she knew me as a vegan. She knew I was not vegan at that point. But she was like, oh, we should all make, like, you should make videos. Everybody should make videos. And it wasn't like about a particular video. It was just make videos. And so I was like, make videos. Okay. Oh, yeah. Remember, at this time, I got hired by that one lady, we're not going to name names, to be her personal chef. Remember this? And so I was making this woman all this food, this fancy lady I know who's a fucking magical badass. And, because she had, like, this crazy business that was, like, you know, making, like, $1 million fucking dollars, and she was just really a lot of fucking work and didn't have time to eat properly, so she was, like, hiring me to cook for her.
So you wanted to make videos with the food that you're making?
No, like, it was like something about making food was really inspiring, but I didn't want to do the shit she wanted me to do, and so I quit. And then the conversation about making recipes, so it was like all these things. It was like, you should make videos, but who knows about what, and hey, you should cook food for me. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to cook food. And then all of a sudden it was like there was like an intersection where, like, I don't know how to describe it. The two met in the middle, but had nothing to do with the other ones. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
One Green Planet.
Oh, yeah. So, One Green Planet, they just randomly wrote me, and this is before anybody gave a fuck about my blog. And they were like, hey, we have this vegan website or whatever. We get like a gajillion, like 1 million plus views or what, whatever. They always tell you their stats to try to sell you on being a part of their shit. And I wrote them back and I was like, oh, fuck yeah, I would be honored. And I was like, full disclosure, I am not vegan. I don't know if that matters. And they're like, oh, no, it's totally fine. Like, a ton of our bloggers aren't vegan or whatever. And they asked me, so, And I was putting it out there to the gods. I was like, dude, if anybody wants to fucking share my shit, let me know. And then they were like, hey, we want to share your shit. And I was like, yeah, bitch. Yeah. Not that it matters. They don't fucking, whatever. Who cares?
Okay, next
They
question.
sell, their blog has a ton of good recipes, like maybe way better than mine.
Okay.
One Green Planet.
So I know you mentioned you disabled your comments because people would just criticize your tats and your appearance,
Yeah, dude.
etc. I have a lot of piercings and I'm struggling between staying true to myself and having to cater to jobs and what they want. Any advice? I want to be me, but I also want to start following my dreams. Where should I stand? What have you done?
I would love to hear your response. What's your gut reaction?
Well, before you get a neck tattoo, you want to make sure you're not gonna ever have to work in fancy restaurants or...
Dude, I got a fancy restaurant job after I got my throat tattoo.
You did, but that's kind of...
luck of the draw.
Yeah.
The exception, not the rule.
You were still charming.
I was still not charming, dude. I am not charming. According to YouTube comments, not charming.
Well.
According to all the thumbs down I get, people, it's like if I chat on a video, it's like instantly like thumbs down within 20 seconds of fucking publishing. People do not find me charming. Okay. So your advice is what? Don't get your throat tattooed?
No, I was just...
Making a joke on me?
Yeah, I don't know. Don't work in jobs where you have to cater to like uptight old people who don't understand tattoos and piercings.
Definitely seems like shit's changing. It seems like you see a lot more people getting, or with jobs. I mean, it really depends. It's like, I'm not really sure what to think of, like, stay true to yourself, like, because I've been very, like, in my head. Like, I'm very mental, I'm very in my head, not, necessarily in my body. Like, some people are very aesthetic. Like, they're very aware. Like, they could probably tell you how much they weigh and their measurements and does this outfit look, they know, right? And because I'm not wired that way, I wouldn't think, like, your piercings or your tattoos, like, your appearance is you, but I know that's not true, because that's all people care about is appearance. Like, for real. Like, I think we're wired that way. I think I'm starting to fucking accept that, Deciding to get a 6-pack, everybody.
So I guess you just haven't really had any problems because you work at jobs that don't give a fuck, and now you work for yourself.
Well, dude, it's hard to say. That's a dicey question because I don't have a college degree. I don't even know if I'm capable of, like, maintaining a real job. And, like, I mean, like a real, like an adult job. Like, I am food industry. Like, I am bottom of the fucking line. Like, I could be a fucking janitor. Like, I could flip burgers. Like, I have a very small pool of skills. And I don't feel above those skills either. But I'm also, like, I'm into the entrepreneurial stuff. So it's, like, that self-made shit of just, like, fuck it, But, so... I don't know how to say this. It's like, I have a good resume in the field of fucking food, but I have a good resume. Like, I have manager experience. I have lots of waiting tables experience. I have high volume, whatever. I have 15, 16 years in the food industry. Like, I have a good resume. So, whereas a tattoo with no resume is fucking awful. It's like, I feel like my resume kind of speaks for itself. Like, there were multiple times while I've been self-employed where I'm like, dude, I just need to get a job. Like, it's not easy being self-employed. It's fan-fucking-tastic. Like, I keep trying to get jobs, and then I'm like, shit, dude, this is way worse. I just need to... Being poor and self-employed is amazing. And every time I go to get jobs, I'm always like, fuck, dude, I have a fuckload of tattoos. And I just tell people from the, like, in emails or whatever, like, look, I have tattoos I can't cover up. And people hire me, like, in the first interview. Like, people really are into my resume. Like, I have a lot of experience, but I don't think, I think you should express yourself as much as you want, and know that there are consequences and limitations.
Yeah, and some of those jobs you probably don't want to work at anyway.
That's
like
exactly what I was going to say.
McDonald's, Chick-fil-A,
well, not
that.
Not that. I'm saying, like, there's probably a lot of jobs you wouldn't want to work at, and that having the tattoo kind of prevents you from being in a position where people assume things about you that aren't true. Like, you can't put on a certain face because, like, the tattoos speak for you. You know what I mean? It's like you're kind of a weirdo, or you're kind of I don't give a fuck, or whatever your expression is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so long story short is, if you can wait, I would say build a good resume. Make sure that you're a good worker. Make sure you have stuff to show that you're a good worker, because I'm a fucking hard ass worker. Like, I'm a very hard worker, and people would rather have a hard worker with some fucking goofy ass looking shit all over them than a fucking dead weight, you know?
Yep. Next question. Do you guys take any supplements while being vegan besides a B12 pill?
When I was vegan, I never took like supplements. I was like dumb and anti-science, and like, if the medical industry was bullshit, unless it was a study that happened to like promote what I was into, and then all of a sudden they were somehow spot on. But I dated a fucking angry ass vegan for like 2 or 3 years, and one time, like, we were talking, and he said that he was vegan for a long time. He told me that once he had taken B12 for a little while, and he noticed it made a huge improvement on his mood. Like, he said he straight up felt the difference. But he didn't take it the whole time I was with him. I was like, motherfucker, like, motherfucker. Okay, but...
Then he was a grumpy badass.
And then he was, awful. So, but I will say this. So at the tail end of me being vegan, I got this numbness in my toe, and it lasted for 2 years. It was 24 hours a day for 2 years. And I never really took it seriously, because it started when I was at the end of vegan, and then I got out of vegan. Like, all this whole 15 years of health gave me the impression, like, oh, your diet, I don't know. I don't want to get into it. Anyway, so for 2 years, I had this numb feeling on my toe, and then I was talking to this vegetarian one day at work, this coworker, and she just kind of mentioned that she had this weird, like, numb feeling, and we both kind of like bonded over it. It was really weird, and I had never really thought about it. I just never really thought about it much. And through me and her discussing it, we both kind of had this moment of like, wait a minute, is this like neuropathy, or like some sort of the early stages of like irreversible nerve damage? Like, that, she didn't say that out loud, but I remember thinking that. Through talking with her, it just became like, oh, wait a minute, this could be really serious. Like I don't know why I've ignored it so haphazardly for so long. So after I talked with her, I went to the health food store, and I bought some vitamin. It was like a B12 it was like a B vitamin complex, I think. I can't remember. I have it in the cupboard, actually. I went and bought more since then. And I took it every day, just like a liquid you put under your tongue. Sublingual, is that the word? And this interesting nerve numbness toe thing that I had for 2 years went away after 2 weeks of taking this shit. I was like, fuck, dude. I'm such a dumbass. Like, I should be addressing this. Like, who knows what other body parts that I wasn't feeling the symptoms, like... My heart was like, hello, tattoo, and only my toe was able to like voice it or something. So yeah, so B12 had a very like immediate impact on me. So I didn't take it when I was vegan. I should have. Clearly.
Yeah. Next question. What would you guys suggest me do if my parents are against tattoos, but I want a fuck ton?
Wow, that's ambitious.
I'm 18 and I already have 3, and they flipped over them.
I don't have that kind of relationship with my parents. I don't know what that's like to have where the parents like have an opinion about my life, like they have some sort of like thing. To get Dr. Phil on you, I would assume that your parents flip out because they give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? And they want like the best opportunities for you, or they look at your body as like this beautiful, pure little thing. You know, they have these ideas, and even if they're expressing them completely wrong and they're creating, you know, drama between you, I would assume they wouldn't flip out if they didn't give a fuck. What was the first part of that? What would you suggest to do if my parents? I'm 18 and already have some. What I would suggest is do your own thing. Get as many tattoos as you want. Don't be fucking reckless, and don't get some gangster ass tattoos that look like ass. Unless you're into that, then never mind. Disregard last thing. I would work on building a respectful relationship between you and your parents, where you guys kind of treat each other like equals and not as like you're the little kid and they get to like feel like disappointed or tell you what to do. Like, you should work on building a mutual respect for each other and like avoid all chit chat about, don't trigger them. I don't think it's cool to like be like, oh, you don't like this? Well, guess what? Or some bullshit like that, or like parade around like I do what I want. Like, don't do that. Like, don't talk about tattoos. Don't get to know your parents as fucking individuals. Like, ask them about their fucking interests. Like, be cool with your fucking parents, dude. They're people too, and they should. And I'm only saying that because that's how they should be treating you. You know what I mean? Like, treat them with respect. Hopefully they'll treat you with respect. If you guys can't get on, you fucking avoid them. But don't fucking that's not your first fucking go-to. Be friends with your parents.
Yeah. Do you and your husband eat plant-based 100% of the time?
No.
Any tattoos you get going forward, would you want to be vegan ink?
Dude, I have no idea what's in the ink, which kind of freaks me out. It makes me nervous for my future. I did not think about these things at the time. I will say the bunch of my tattoos, like my throat tattoo and my right arm and my right hand and my chest, and my wedding ring, was done by a famous tattoo artist. He was vegan for 15 years. That was a huge reason why I picked him. And me and him both went out of being vegan at the same time. It was like, that's an interesting long ass story, and was a huge deal for him. Like, he was interviewed for he was a major anarchist, like major vegan, like unreal. Like,
there's a lot of parallels between
me and him. Had a lot of parallels. So I assume his ink was vegan out of how fucking passionate, how hard fucking Corey was, but I never verified this. You think I'm gonna get skin cancer?
No, I think you'll be alright.
Oh, never say never.
Someone said just a beautiful pig. Someone else says, I want to be in this place, it looks wild. By the way, the owl tattoo is beautiful.
Thank you. That place is in the suburbs. It's like a little spot that we go to. It's like houses are right there, but it's like this little park. Oh, it's a big park, but it's straight up in the suburbs. You can't tell by the picture. We have fires there and shit.
What camera do you use to take the awesome food pics?
You tell them.
It's a Nikon D3200 with a 35mm 1.8 lens.
Which I think is the wrong lens to do the kind of shit I do with it, but I love the way it looks. So I
think I think it's a great lens for for food
I
photography.
feel like all the stuff like the videos, like everything should be a wider lens, but I don't want to use a wider one. I love the one I use.
You lose a little bit of the depth.
That's why I think I love it.
Yeah. What is your favorite movie or series? And by the way, love your videos and pictures. They are like art.
Yeah, that's so sweet. My favorite movie was The Graduate. We should watch it. It's been a long time. The first time I saw it, I was just like, wow, dude, it has like a perfect amount of silence. It's not like always jolting to the next scene because it's, an older movie. It's just the pace of it. It's not so slow that it's missing something, but it's not so full that it loses that sort of mystery where you kind of fill it in, and just the emotion. I love that movie, The Graduate. But I emotionally, I used to be a fucking mess, and I will say these last, especially since I met you, I've just, like, sad shit. I used to love all that sad shit, like sad movies, sad music, and I couldn't connect with anything else, but these days it's like, that shit is just too much, too heavy. According to me, I'm not so Oprah, but according to all these fucking answers, dude, what the fuck? Getting deep.
Okay, someone says, I binge watched a bunch of your videos and...
Dude, no way.
And now I can't stop saying peace.
Yeah, Brian started that.
Peace the fuck out? Yeah, peace the fuck out.
Peace.
One of my new favorite channels for sure.
Dude, thank you. I hope our videos just get better, honestly.
Yes, I agree. Okay.
Hate to fall off. That would be bad.
Someone says, I'm digging the hashtags.
Yeah, dude.
Someone says, how's life? I love your tattoos. Will you do more changes to your room?
How's life? Life is always getting better. Since this is no disrespect to anybody who's interested in health or veganism or anything. I mean, dude, I'm like everybody. Like, I definitely want people to do what makes sense to them. But I will say, like, my life has gotten so much better since I've kind of redirected, like, my interests and just kind of opened up, just kind of chilled the fuck out. More changes to our room. I want to get one of those air, what do you call those?
Purifier?
Like oil diffusers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's like, I refuse to buy it until I, like, read every, like, those pictures where people take shitty pictures.
Oh, yeah, this is her new thing.
This is, like, my new thing. It's like reading the questions on Amazon and looking at people's pictures where they post a photo of the product in their house with their stupid ass fucking... I love it. It's like such guilty pleasure. Like, I can't buy the item till I, like, go through these stages of, like, digging through this useless information. Such pleasure. It's like, people just say such corny shit. It's so good. It's so, like, I love it.
Because they're being genuine.
They're being genuine. I love it.
Okay. My other half wants to know why you weigh everything. Much love and peace the fuck out.
Cool. Well, if you made it to 2 hours into this video, I'm glad I can answer your question. I weigh everything because I count calories, and that's the most accurate way. I definitely don't think other people need to weigh their shit, but it's just kind of where I'm at. And by weighing stuff, you don't have to wash all these, like, tablespoons, teaspoons. Like, I can put a tablespoon of oil and then wash that, or I could just place the pot on the scale and then weigh, 14 grams or 15 grams of oil. It's like, oh, one less shit to wash. Dude, I hate washing shit. It's mostly for calories. Calories.
Just watched your marriage video on YouTube.
Yay.
Loved it. What was it first like being with someone younger?
Yeah.
And how does it feel now? You mentioned it briefly, but I just wanted to know a little bit more. I'm kind of in a similar situation. I live for your videos and recipes.
Dude, I like that. Okay, I feel like this person gets the struggle or is aware that there is something there. It took me a very long time to get comfortable with being with Mark, who's so young. I mean, he wanted to marry me. Like, he was like, we should get married. And I, shortly after we met, and then we were married, and it's like, for years I felt like a private, internal guilt. Like, did I do something wrong to him? Like, did I take advantage of a younger person? Like, you know what I mean? Like, should he be out there living his youth? Like, I don't know how do I say that? Like, am I, how do you say it? It's like, am I fucking up your future? You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna have regrets? Like, am I taking you out of your youth? Like, I just felt all these feelings. Like, am I doing something to you by agreeing to do something you wanted to do? Like, this was your idea, but I agreed, but I feel guilty like I'm doing something wrong. Like, shouldn't you be out being a youth? Like, why are you being married to me when you could be out being a handsome young stud bachelor, And I just felt really guilty for a long time, but you never expressed any feeling like you didn't want to not be married. You always seemed like you wanted to be married.
I stand by my decision.
I just always felt really bad, and it wasn't until I changed, and this sounds so corny, but I changed all my views of how I viewed the world, my relationship in the world. Essentially, when I stopped being so, mental about diet and food and anarchy and materialism and all this shit, and I just kind of threw away, I wiped the slate clean, was I able to just embrace our relationship more and not feel like there's rules, you should be out living a certain way, or I just felt comfortable, I just felt better about us when I felt better about me. Dude, that's so Oprah! I can't get over it. Okay,
moving on. Let's see. Hi, glad you're doing a Q&A, so here it goes. Why the focus on vegan recipes if you're not vegan? Do you have employment beyond your Etsy shop and YouTube? Do you film in a commercial kitchen? I just thought a few things looked like you might be in a cafe or something. Any plans for a less tiny but plumbed new house? Thanks.
Why focus on vegan recipes if you're not vegan? Because making recipe videos of anything that's not vegan makes my eyes bleed, and making vegan recipes makes my heart sing. Making vegan recipe videos makes my heart sing. I don't mind cooking non-vegan shit, but just making the videos makes my heart. Do you have employment beyond Etsy and YouTube? Etsy doesn't pay shit, dude. Nobody gives a fuck about my Etsy shop. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. That's fine. Entrepreneurial spirit. It's do what I can, just try shit. And if it doesn't work, you fucking learn some skills working on Etsy that I can apply to other shit. So Etsy doesn't pay shit, and that's okay. And YouTube. I did YouTube for 2 years pretty much for no money, and it wasn't until just these last couple months we started to make a couple bucks. We still pay more just to make the videos than we make, so I wouldn't consider that really employment. It's if it cost you more to drive to work than the amount they pay you, I wouldn't really consider that a job, but more like volunteer work. So eBay is our money.
Commercial kitchen?
No, shitty apartment.
Any plans for a less tiny and plumbed house?
Dude, I think the future is promising in weird ways that probably involves houses.
Okay, love the channel. It gives me inspiration.
Thank you.
I want to know why you're such a babe.
Takes one to know one.
Will you ever turn your comments back on?
I hope not. I might with all this pressure. I hope not.
I find you so funny, and ensure plenty of your viewers would love to be able to interact with you in the comments below your videos.
Dude, comment.
Where you do your voiceovers and tell stories.
I know, but connect with me elsewhere, for real. Don't feel like you can't.
Okay. Why do you make vegan recipes if you're not vegan? I'm quite happy you're doing it. I've been obsessed with getting more vegan recipes since I turned last year. Thanks.
Why do you make vegan recipes if you're not vegan? It's inspiring, and my brain is pretty much wired to do it, and I don't know, it just makes sense. And it's kind of been liberating. Like, I had a lot of negative charges with veganism when I left. Like, I just felt like there were some exaggerations on the positive shit and kind of some, the opposite underlooking some of the negative shit. Like, I just felt really frustrated with veganism. And then when I started making these videos, it was like, oh, veganism isn't necessarily what the sound bites say, like fuck that. Like, anybody can make vegan recipe. Like you don't have to follow any of the rules, and you can still enjoy a vegan recipe. I don't know. It was really liberating making these videos. God, I'm gonna go there. It feels very healing to make vegan. I know, dude. It's like, dude, I'm going there.
Okay.
Only for this. Never again.
Someone says, yo!
What up?
I love your seitan recipes, and I've been making my own for a few weeks now. Tonight I made a batch and thought I'd up the nutrients and get some green powder in it, so I blended up some spinach and kale in the water and strained it before adding it to the mix. The taste is a bit earthy, and it made the kitchen smell like fresh cut grass when I ate. Oh, which I hate, sorry.
That sounds kind of cool, though.
But I'm curious if you have ever toyed around with this concept and had any tips or tricks. Thanks, love your videos and recipes. Peace the fuck up.
Dude, when I was a raw foodist, I was obsessed with, like, packing everything with as much, like, nutrient dense, I'm air quoting here. I was all about that. Like, I could fucking take a tablespoon of spirulina and put it in, like, a 16-ounce smoothie. I mean, it tasted good at the time. I remember people being like, something's wrong with this girl. Like, her hippie taste buds are to the extreme, to the max.
Yeah, that's how I feel about your protein chips.
So I don't do that anymore because I'm just kind of not really interested in that. But I think it's badass that you do it. I mean, rock out with your cock out. Next question.
Someone said, I love your owl tat.
Thank you.
Will you ever turn your comments back on? I find
no.
you so funny. Plenty of your viewers would love to be able to interact with you. Okay, same thing basically. I've been looking at portable induction burners, but I was worried about heating up the nails in the wood floor table where I would be using it
This
mostly.
person sounds gangster. I live on a fucking wooden floor with some nails. How do I make a dinner? It's like, oh fuck, dude. One nail away from being homeless.
Have you had any problems with that?
Floorless.
I tried Google but couldn't find much info. Kind of more squatter, tiny living situation, lol.
Dude, are you really living a squatter, tiny living life? Because if you are, I love it. I can't help but love it. I'm way into that kind of shit. What do you think? I feel like you would know this better than me. And I've thought about these things a million times. I'm always like, what if we, like, how would you put something on the ground? Like, how would you put something on your floor without your house burning up?
I mean, they don't really get the floor that hot, I don't think.
I don't know, dude.
They usually have, like, rubber feet.
Oh, like an induction?
Yeah, remember, like, the one that we said?
Yeah, our induction, that should be fine. I would think, like...
Yeah, that cooled off really quick after cooking, too.
Another thing is, I assume you could go to, like Home Depot or, like, a floor store and get, like, some tiles or something, and just, like, make, like, a platform of, like, ceramic.
Or you could dumpster a tile.
Yeah,
Just
you know what I mean?
tile.
Or, like, a dumpster... Oh, you know where you could... what do you call that? Like, steal one of those, what the
Milk
fuck
crate?
is it? No, like, they're... What the fuck is the word? Concrete? Like one of those concrete bricks?
Oh, cinder block.
Yeah, cinder block. Steal one of those bitches and, like, put your heating element on top of that. You should be fine.
There you go. And it'll match the squatter.
Yeah, you will look for real.
Yeah.
No one will doubt your trueness to the game.
Okay.
Are you missing some? Because you're scrolling pretty fast, and we're committed.
I just checked. Not a question, but a compliment. Thank you for posting the awesome recipes, witty, funny commentary, and great music. Totally uplifting and inspiring videos.
Dude, I hope so.
Someone says, so excited to hear your thoughts, sending positive vibes your way.
Yay, we can all use positive vibes for real.
And where do you want to be in life? Do you think your cooking is your calling? Do I sound like a weirdo?
We all kind of sound weird, especially on this interview in particular. Okay, where do you want to be in life? Financially independent is kind of like my biggest thing. I don't think about it that much these days because, I mean, our income is just not, like, there's no point of, whatever. If we got jobs, we'd be there faster. I'm talking, like, when I was waiting tables and you worked at a grocery store, we were, like, saving 75% of our income. We were on our way. And then we became self-employed. Our quality of life went up, but our income, it's gonna catch up at some point, I hope.
Yeah.
Where's the question? Where do you want to be in life? Okay, so financially independent. And what do you wait?
Do you think cooking is your calling?
I would say so. It's like I've always been obsessed with food. Just like the obsession with health. Like for 9 years, I only read about veganism. I only read about food. I only read about cooking. I only read about health. Makes sense why my brain was gonna explode. I needed new fucking mental territory. But there's no way a person could just obsess only on that. Like I read every fucking book. If I went to the bookstore, I was like, that's the section I went. I remember one time feeling like so stale. Like, why am I, like, I need to, just confused. Like, where else can I go? Am I even allowed in any other section? But it has to be a calling because I keep coming back to it and it's always been something I'm drawn to. But at the same time, I feel that I have other things I want to express and explore that have nothing to do with food and nothing to do with YouTube, which is a huge reason why I redid my room. There's some writing I want to work on. There's an ebook I want to do that has nothing, it's not a health or a food, you'll never know on my YouTube channel that I'm doing this. But so in addition to cooking, I think there's other callings as well.
Okay. What happened to Tiny House? Why are the YouTube comments disabled?
So we sold the tiny house, and interestingly, the couple who bought it felt almost like a mirror of us. But the husband, I was waiting tables and you were doing woodworking. And then when we met them and they were touring the house, the woman was like, oh, this could be my woodworking. The woman did woodwork, right?
Yeah.
And the guy, he did internet stuff, which we weren't doing at the time. But it just, something about them felt like a string theory version of us or something.
Yeah.
So they bought it, which felt really good. And what was the other question?
YouTube comments disabled.
Yeah, I can't handle it. Which is so funny because I don't really put my face in any of my shit anymore. So it's not like people can sit there and tell me how awful I am. But I just feel like, I don't know, I just feel like people get really nitpicky. I don't know. It doesn't sound like something I want to be a part of.
Okay, so subscribed recently because you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Your voice reminds me of Sarah Gilbert's voice in Poison Ivy.
I don't know if I've seen that. Have you seen that?
I have not.
Sarah Gilbert, she was the chick on Roseanne, right?
I'm not sure.
The daughter?
I'm not familiar with Sarah Gilbert.
Or maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
I don't know.
Who else? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it?
That's all of them.
No way.
You made it through.
Did I?
Only 2.5 hours.
Okay. Should we speed this up and do a chipmunk voice?
I don't know. I know you want to do that.
Alright. Well, let's edit this shit and put on a picture of us from 4 years ago. From right after we sold the tiny house will be the photo for the whole video.
Okay.
Okay. Peace.